Welcome to Good Morning Pop Culture. We are back. Accept no substitutes in the morning. Don't listen to the radio. Don't watch any TV. Lend me your ears this morning while we go through this thing called life together. If you have to go to work, well, I can't help that. And if you have to go to school, well, it's July, so you probably deserve that. But don't focus on those things this morning. Good Morning Pop Culture is here to make your life a little bit easier. So today is Thursday, July 26th, 2018. It's 7:45 on the dot, and I'm more than excited to be back to entertain you fine people. So we're currently waiting for us to get to that magical number of 200. Good morning to everybody in the chat wishing me well. I appreciate that. And let's talk about what you missed since yesterday's episode of Good Morning Pop Culture. So last night, we did a live watch party for Back to the Future, my favorite movie personally, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people come in and hang out, talk about the film. We had not one, but two Marty McFlys. So you don't get that very often. So it was a special event. And that's here on the channel, so you can go back and watch it at any time. Tonight, we have World Class Bullshitters, episode 133. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So if you're a fan of me, if you're a fan of this channel, I got all kinds of stuff, all kinds of ways to consume, well, me, if you will. Tomorrow night, we're having a live watch party for Return of the Living Dead, and we're going to go all night long if enough people are here. Those are the only types of things you can get from World Class Bullshitters. So let's see who's in the chat saying good morning. We got Caesarea, Japan, Sire J. Longsquire. Everyone is here this morning. Let's see where we're at. Ooh, we're already at 155 viewers. So you know what that means, folks. We can get into the news a little bit earlier. So, good morning to you, Bullcraft Max. Hello, David Wheeler. Good morning to everyone. Thank you, Darth Myrtle. Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, you're in the UK, so good afternoon to you. Our friend Midnight Cherry TV. Almighty Coon is here. Thank you. Morning from Finland. Thank you, Finland. The entire country. Oh, and hello from New Zealand. You guys are truly putting the world in world-class bullshitters. So yes, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 9. News, rumors, George Lucas? Yes, it is legal, Albedo. It's all legal here on World Class Bullshitters. Buck Nasty 1138, all the way from the West Coast. Our West Coast bullshitter himself. Reed Palancha, there's all kinds of fun to be had today. Don't worry. We are about to start. The earliest we've ever started here on Good Morning Pop Culture. We're already at 196 viewers. So it just goes to show you, well, we passed 200. So guys, it's time to start the show official. So Star Wars is what brought you all here to this channel. Well, that or the toys. So let's talk about the news and the rumors for Star Wars Episode 9, that thing that we all are dreading next year. So take a look at your screens, and you'll see Lando Calrissian, George Lucas, and Rey. Ugh. So this news comes from MovieWeb.com, and it says, new Star Wars 9 rumors include George Lucas, Lando, lightsabers, and Rey. Want to know how Maz Kanata actually got Luke's old blue lightsaber? Curious to find out how J.J. Abrams is working to make Star Wars 9 the best sequel since Disney bought Lucasfilm? Interested in learning more about Rey, Finn, Poe, and their stories as they come to the ultimate close? Well, you've come to the right place, because we've got plenty of new information as production kicks off on the next installment of the Star Wars franchise. First off, no, I'm not curious about any of those things. So that's the end of the show, folks. And if you're still here, it says, there haven't been any official announcements made from Disney and Lucasfilm, but it's being reported that Star Wars 9 began shooting this week and already has a couple of days of production under its belt. As its final sequel in the Force Awakens trilogy gets underway, some intel is slipping through the cracks. These are rumors for now, but they all come from legit sources, and as we've seen with the past 2 movies, these rumors usually come true. The first bit of news deals with the return of a very familiar location. It was widely reported in early July that director J.J. Abrams would be taking his crew to the Cardigan airship sheds in Bedfordshire, England. That's a lot to say. This location was first seen during the climactic ending of A New Hope and served as the home base for the rebels. The Cardigan airship sheds were used to construct the Maasai outpost, aka Base 1, on the planet Yavin 4. Wasn't Yavin 4 a moon? And it was also seen in the more recent Rogue One, and we now know that it's being shot here for Episode 9. This final Force Awakens chapter will bring Rey, Finn, and Poe together for some adventure time, which we haven't really seen in the last 2 movies. The trio will be on Yavin 4. When it's attacked by whom? We can only assume the First Order. Mike Zero has been collecting info on the movie since it began production. So basically, Mike Zero has been collecting production for like 5 days. Shocker. I have some news on the production. John Boyega took a shit. Daisy Ridley ate lunch. J.J. Abrams said something stupid. And Kathleen Kennedy, well, she's irrelevant, so it doesn't matter what she did. So we're talking about these big chases that could be seen on the base of Yavin 4. We have been learning more about Star Wars 9 when it comes to a shot over at Cardigan. To be more specific, in one of the sheds for a shoot that is beginning next week, the scene will feature a large green screen that will be used for a chase involving Finn, Poe, and Rey. Pyrotechnics will be used along with practical effects. Many extras will be dressed as pilots and civilians. The shoot is expected to begin next week. This is said it's going to be on for 5 days for a specific scene. This is like the equivalent of Dave Meltzer. And if you don't know who Dave Meltzer is, folks, Dave Meltzer is a wrestling writer who's made a career saying, hey, this might happen. This could happen. So if this is from the horse's mouth, Mike Zero, this is the most basic outline that's probably going to happen. They're shooting in a location. There's going to be a green screen. The actors are going to be there on set. Wow. So, yippee. Yavin 4 is back. We get to see another planet again. But here's the important part that I wanted to talk about, and this is the part that you guys want to talk about. Apparently, Star Wars 9 will have a lot of prequel and original trilogy connections and continuity. J.J. Abrams knows a lot of fans didn't like The Last Jedi, and it's his mission to make this sequel the best one yet. And he's really going to knock it out of the park. The rumor is that Disney and Lucasfilm brought in George Lucas to consult on the script. While they pretty much turned their backs on him when The Force Awakens was first coming together, he's become like this trilogy's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Imagine Kathleen Kennedy calling out for him as their only hope. George Lucas stayed pretty muted when Disney began production on the franchise reboot, but he did show up on the set of Rogue One, where he made a few suggestions. He then visited Ron Howard on Solo, where he even worked on a scene. Now it's rumored that he's working alongside J.J. Abrams to make sure that they get this one perfect. It isn't known if he's on the scene in the Cardigan sheds or if he's just casually dropped in on the script writing process. Expect that official info to come out on a later date. So before we talk about this a little more in detail, let's pay attention to some of the wording here. So they're talking about the best movie yet. So does this admit that The Last Jedi wasn't what they expected it to be? What people are telling us it is? I would say so. Now that the public perception is away from The Last Jedi, or so they think, they're going to talk about Episode 9 and they're going to throw the other movie under the bus. But the damage is done, folks. We know that. We've lived through it together. We've been on this channel. And Dio Brando, I'll be getting to your super chat in just one moment. So it's interesting to see how the machine actually works. They're past Solo. They're past The Last Jedi. I thought Rian Johnson was past belittling the fans, but Johnson Watch 18 is now back because he called us trolls on Twitter, and I'll have to look up more information. That's just sources from a secondhand group of people. But Dio Brando, thank you for your $5 super chat. Did you hear about Rian Johnson deleting over 20,000 tweets? Yes, I did. As you guys know, I'm not the most Twitter savvy user, if I could speak. So I use it sparingly. I'll use it to make announcements and stuff like that. I don't really follow a lot of Twitter drama unless it's brought to my attention. So I have heard about Rian Johnson deleting his tweets. And then I've seen people post screenshots of tweets he had deleted. I think they're archived somewhere. So that is news, but we don't know exactly what he's deleting. I've seen a couple ones talking about like your mom's chest or dildo cleaner or something, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. That's not offensive or stupid. And yes, 20,000 tweets under the sea. I like that name, Grant. That's what we should call the legacy of Rian Johnson. But I think it's just to protect his ass because I won't say there's a witch hunt going on in Hollywood, but the tides are changing. There's this consumer movement because we do hold the power. I've been saying it for months here on the channel. Guys, if we don't go see these movies, these people cannot go out and buy Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, all this crazy bullshit that they go and live and do. They have to be held accountable. And they know that Star Wars, the Golden Calf franchise, has tarnished a bit. And people out there know that Rian Johnson isn't helping. He's only hurting it. So all their tactics have failed. Remember that SJW playbook I put out, that video talking about that from Ichibaka, the guy over on that website? I covered all those tactics, and they've all failed. They tried it with Daisy Ridley. The truth came out. They tried it with Kelly Marie Tran. The truth will eventually come out, guys. There are so many things that they have tried. And now Rian Johnson needs to make sure that he has no skeletons in his closet. So he goes back to delete these things. And it's interesting. It's sad that that is the measurement of, what we base somebody's career on. Me personally, I base it on that he's a shitty director and a shitty person for the way he treats people. Maref Dialine, good morning, Mr. Bullshitter, to you and all your pop culture fans. Well, good morning to you, Maref Dialine. I'm glad you're back again. I hope you're feeling better. I know last night during our Back to the Future commentary, you told us that you had to go to bed because you weren't feeling too well, but hopefully you're up for work and you're feeling refreshed and have a new zest for life. Mike Zero is the TMZ of Star Wars bloggers. I don't trust that guy's sources. I don't know who the hell Mike Zero is. Everyone says Mike Zero is Doomcock, Mike Zero is this, Mike Zero is that. Well, when I ask who is Mike Zero, it's not that I don't know that he exists. It's more of along the lines of like, who is Mike Zero to me? And if we all like Guardians of the Galaxy, let's break it down even further. Why is Mike Zero? Why is Mike Zero brought up in every discussion? Why is Mike Zero mentioned? Hey, Jeff, you should get Mike Zero on the channel. If he's a full of shit guy who's just grasping for relevancy, why should I have him on the show? Why should it matter what he says? Well, apparently there's a rumor that he is a small arm of the PR for Lucasfilm. Not PR. What I meant to say is basically he's like low-key advertising. Not a shill necessarily, but he gets little crumbs and he runs with them and he usually presents them in a positive way. And now you got MovieWeb talking about this shit. So maybe that's what Mike Zero is. Why Mike Zero? Because he'll say the right things. Now we have another super chat from our friend Zaire. Did you see Jim Jeffries' interview hit piece on diversity in comics, Zach? I didn't. I heard all about it, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. I don't say this to sound redundant, but honestly, once I leave the morning show, I have stuff I have to do. Yesterday, I started doing design work for our t-shirts for worldclassbullshitters.com. I don't say this lightly, guys, but I have some designs for shirts that you've never seen before, or maybe you have, but they're going to blow every other t-shirt from every other podcast out of the water. And variety is the spice of life, and you'll have a big, big variety. So just be prepared that that's going to be launching soon. I know you've been waiting patiently, and I appreciate that. But I'm going to make it worthwhile, trust me. So that's what I'm doing on my off time, and that's why I haven't seen the Jim Jeffries interview piece. I've heard about it. We've been tweeted about it. Nick told me, he asked me who Zach is, and now I've told you guys why I haven't watched it yet. But I'll do my best to get ready for tonight's show, World Class Bullshitters, and we will talk about it there. Marith Dialine, thank you for your super chat again. I'm still sick, but I'm walking into work now. Well, I hope that you can make it through your day and take this advice. Maybe take solace in the fact that it's Thursday. You have today and tomorrow, and then it's the weekend. So you can sleep in, you can relax, you can catch a late night commentary with us and enjoy your weekend. That's what I'm going to do this weekend. I don't think I have anything Saturday, unless enough people ask us to go live on Saturday night. We don't have anything specifically planned. So press F if you'd like me to go live on Saturday night, and I will. We'll find something to do. Maybe it'll be with the other guys. Maybe I'll talk about collectibles or entertainment stuff. Maybe I'll even pull out the webcam again and I'll show stuff on camera and we can talk about that. All you got to do is press F and let me know you're interested. King Eric got a package from eBay. I have a bunch of packages from eBay coming, folks. I have to take this moment to admit something to you. I have an obsession with a little film called Beverly Hills Cop. And so the other night on the High Council, I bought some stuff from Beverly Hills Cop. And when I mean some stuff, I bought promotional posters from the 80s, a VHS that's never been opened, a cardboard display stand with Axel Foley, too much stuff. So I know what it's like, Eric, when you have to open your packages from eBay. I have a little bit of shame with my Beverly Hills Cop obsession. So if you guys could make me feel better about that, let me know, please. Oh, lots of Fs. Lots of Fs. Dio Brando sent in a $2 super chat just to say F. Thank you very much, Dio Brando. By the way, folks, I want to give a very special thank you and shout out to all of you, but specifically I'm Into Film, because I'm Into Film gave a $50 super chat yesterday for Dion to get his turkey suit. And I've been talking about the turkey suit with all the guys off air, and we're very excited to make that happen. The Gobble Gobble Motherfucker episode is what we're going to call it. Spoke to my mom. She's going to bake us the turkey, and Dion's going to wear the suit. So if you guys ever have any ideas for stupid shit you'd like to see us do, suggest it. We'll get the funds together and we'll make it happen. The turkey suit for Dion, that's going to be legendary. Maybe I'll even put a world-class bullshitter t-shirt on the giant inflatable turkey body. Declan Webster, thank you very much for your super chat and good morning. Star Wars, Return of the Lucas. Opinions on him? Well, my thoughts on George Lucas are this. They say the grass isn't always greener on the other side. With George Lucas, at least Star Wars had a level of respectability. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Lucas knew how to keep the original films relevant and make them big events no matter what. Disney has now made Star Wars, like everything else, expendable. I had a video that I was working on called Star Wars, the crown jewel of the bargain discount chain, where I went out into bargain stores and I just found tons and tons of Star Wars merchandise. When Lucas was in charge, that wasn't the case. And I know people are saying, well, distribution's different, things are different. Guys, I was that Star Wars collector. I was a kid. I would go to stores and look through cases and stuff. And I was one of those tall guys that I could actually reach up to the flap at Toys R Us and find extra figures up there. I knew the distribution. I knew how all of it worked. And I have watched Star Wars go from something that people are chasing after to something that people are just chasing or running away from. Like I've told the story, in 2009, Dustin and I went back to look for this Boba Fett figure. It was just a basic Boba Fett figure. And I found it, and I took great joy in it. And now it's worth $90 because it's so rare and was hard to find. So, and that was in 2009. The Clone Wars was on TV. We were 4 years removed from Revenge of the Sith. But there was an active Star Wars toy line. There was Star Wars merchandise. There was a TV show. There was everything. And people were still talking about it positively. You had people come in and at you like, well, the prequels weren't that great, but they, you know, blah, blah, blah. They did this, that, and that right. Now there's a whole culture of, man, fuck Star Wars because of what Disney's done. Lucas himself never created that kind of hostile environment. I'm not saying he's perfect. The prequels have plenty of problems. I would never lie to you guys and say, oh, the prequels were perfect. 10 out of 10 films, I wouldn't change a thing. Like I said that about Back to the Future last night. But today, I can't say that about the Star Wars prequels. What I can do is tell you that there are moments of greatness in the Star Wars prequels, but overall, they're flawed projects. Good at best, average at worst. Well, you know what? No. Attack of the Clones is pretty goddamn terrible. There are so many problems with that movie, but it does have a few moments of excellence. For example, when Anakin's on that speeder bike and it plays the like Duel of Fates theme as he's going to save his mother, a very cool scene. The battle on Geonosis is pretty cool. There are moments of excellence in those films. Disney Star Wars doesn't have those. It's just stupid rehashed moment after stupid rehashed moment. There was a scientific formula created for Disney Star Wars films. It's get your emotional investment early with the theme and drag you along quick enough with familiar visuals. Then we introduce something new. Then we bring you back to something you know. That's all the movie is. It just strings you along by playing with your emotions for hours and hours and hours. And at the end, you're unfulfilled. They're like Disney Star Wars films are like empty calories. To some people, they taste good, but to a lot of people, they're not worth your time or your caloric intake for that day. George Lucas kept it pretty, I guess is what I should say. When the Blu-rays came out, yes, some of the special edition changes were garbage, but at least those all felt like events. When these new Star Wars movies come out on Blu-ray, you're like, whatever. Jeremy can bring up his facts. Jeremy can bring up his figures. But I can also bring up the fact that these movies are on clearance. I've seen The Force Awakens for $5 on Blu-ray last year. Got a video of it. That's not just a one-time thing either. Stacks of them, probably 30 copies. And that was just one store. That's a chain of many. Star Wars wasn't like that before. I mean, I can still go into those discount stores and find Resistance Fighter Rey because everybody wanted that figure, right? No, nobody wanted that shit. Nobody wants the stuff from Disney Star Wars. Lucas never did that. So while he wasn't perfect, he at least treated Star Wars as the property that it deserved to be. And one other thing, as a person, George Lucas seems like an all right dude. He donated his $4 billion from Disney to education. There's the George Lucas Education Fund. He seems like a decent guy. Would I go up to him and kiss his ass in public? No. But I'd look at him in the eye and say, hey, man, Star Wars was great. And I'd ask him questions about what the hell's happening nowadays. And now that he's kind of back involved, he'd be more cautious to say what he said. But if you go back and watch the Charlie Rose interview, you can see that George Lucas was bothered by what Disney had planned to do with Star Wars. And you got to know somewhere in the back of his mind or deep down in his heart that George Lucas was hurt by the way they treated Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and embarrassed Carrie Fisher's legacy with Flying Princess Leia. And by the way, folks, I was reading the Last Jedi comic adaptation, which does suck. And I'm going to be working on a video for that this coming week. But it doesn't fix the movie. It still has problems. The story is fundamentally broken, and round-headed Rian Johnson is to blame. And the best writers in the world can't salvage that piece of shit. It's like Humpty Dumpty. When it fell off the wall, half the pieces blew away. There's nothing to glue together. So Declan Webster, that was a very long answer for your question of my opinions on George Lucas. And we see lots of people give him respect for my Beverly Hills Cop obsession. Thank you to everyone who has my back on that. So Declan sent in another super chat. Thank you very much, Declan. Disney's leaders need to be put at Order 66 in action. So would that be against the fans? Are we the Jedi Order? Are we what's good and right and just in the universe? Because from their point of view, we're the evil ones, and I don't want us to get wiped out. I look at us more like the Rebel Alliance, and they're the Empire, and we're going to win this thing by bitching about the shittiest parts so people pay attention and hitting them where it hurts. In their dicks. I mean wallets, sorry. So we had another super chat from Dio Brando. Thank you very much, Dio Brando, and good morning, my friend. They should have gotten rid of Jar Jar's screen time in episode 1 and replaced with Dooku leaving the Jedi and joining to the Sith. Well, that would imply that Lucas had an overarching idea for this prequel trilogy. Say what you will about George Lucas's brilliance. I know Jeremy loves to talk about how he's a brilliant storyteller, and I think he's a very lucky guy that was surrounded by the right people at the right time, and that's why Star Wars happened the way it did. Lucas by himself wouldn't be a fair, or wouldn't be a credible creator. It took so many people. So I don't think that Lucas had Dooku in mind or any of these things when he made episode 1. This was a return to Star Wars. He was trying to do something. Maybe he had believed his own hype that he couldn't do anything wrong. He also believed that Star Wars was a kid's film, and Star Wars wasn't a kid's film. It was a movie for everybody that was marketed to kids and made billions of dollars. And it made billions of dollars in marketing because, or excuse me, in merchandise sales because adults and kids collect the stuff. The stuff looks cool, first and foremost. They're created to look awesome. People like to say, oh, Star Wars, they make the toys first and then the movies second. Well, maybe nowadays they do, but back in the original days, there were no toy lines coming from Star Wars in 76 or 75 when they were in production. No, the Star Wars toys were an afterthought. That's why they sold you an empty box at Christmas for 1977, and you received your first 4 figures in early 1978. But creativity and the desire to make a good film was first, and you wouldn't have had that success if it was just for kids. So George Lucas fell into that trap of trying to make Star Wars a kids movie because he knew he'd make a bunch of money on merchandise. I do like your idea of Dooku leaving the Jedi and joining the Sith. And they should have explored it deeper, but I'll stand by my opinion that it wasn't there in the beginning. It took so long to get there. Maybe that was an afterthought. Maybe Lucas's best ideas were afterthoughts. Or maybe he had episode 3 worked out, because that's the only one that actually works out fully, in my opinion. I don't really have too many faults about episode 3. Maybe I should do a commentary for that sooner than not. We'll talk about it with Dion and everybody. Good morning to everyone that's rolling in again. We're having great numbers today, so I'm really excited about that. How did Dion react to the turkey suit? He accepted it. I told him it's either a turkey suit or we bring in a live horse on camera, and he said, "Turkey suit, sir." So the Grand Inquisitor sent in a very generous super chat. Thank you very much, the Grand Inquisitor. Good morning, Mr. Shitter. I saw Hasbro said at San Diego Comic-Con that they're re-releasing previous runs of the Black Series figures, starting with the Bounty Hunters, Fett, Bosk, and IG-88. Yeah, they're not hurting. Yeah, they're not hurting for cash. Excuse that motorcycle on my very, very busy, shitty street. I saw that information too. I went to Jedi Temple Archives and Rebel Scum and all that stuff, and I followed the Hasbro San Diego Comic-Con trailer presentation stuff. I was actually more interested in the Marvel toys, because the Marvel toys, they're so good right now. The Star Wars stuff can get great if they really focus on stuff. But this is good for them because they didn't have the right distribution. They didn't have things under control. The last year or so has been just a cacophony of shit in terms of Star Wars. Movies failed. Solo was actually a bomb. The toys are just garbage. Everything was just wrong. Somebody in the back or at the top is trying to rectify these things. And this, to me, is a little bit of a desperate plea to try to get people to buy shit, because Boba Fett, the Black Series, came out in 2013. That's 5 years ago, and it hasn't been re-released. There was the Comic-Con version with Han Solo and Carbonite, and there's the basic one, which I have. I found it at the Disney store. And yeah, I went to the Disney store to buy a Boba Fett figure. Sue me. But now they're going to go back and release these desired figures, which is smart, because if you pay attention to the Black Series, currently there's a very heavy slant on the Empire Strikes Back. Actually, if you look through all the collectible lines, there's a very heavy slant on the Empire Strikes Back, because there is respect and reverence for that film beyond belief, which it's a great movie. I'll tell you this. I've always liked it and I've always enjoyed it, but I never loved it as much as I do now until we watched it the last time. The movie's pacing is great. The action's great. The climax is great. Everything's great. And I'm glad that they're releasing all this stuff, because they had Boba Fett come out a long time ago. Now they had Bespin Luke come out, but there's a rumor that they're going back and re-releasing certain characters with the new face printing technology, which I think is necessary, because Bespin Luke looks like shit. That's why I didn't buy it. Same with Jedi Knight Luke. See, folks, what they used to do is they would sculpt the figure, then it would get painted, and that's the figure. Nowadays, they have this 3D technology where they put paint apps and they can do 3D sculpting and all this stuff for these figures. Marvel figures have them. That's why they have realistic Chris Evans and figures like that from the MCU. And there's these Japanese figures called SH Figure Arts, which they do there. And it's a really cool new technology. And now Hasbro's trying to catch up. So this is a good/bad time for them to do. It's good because they need to advance the brand. The price of oil went down, and so instead of lowering the price of the figures, they increased the quality. And I've picked up a few of these new face-printed figures, like Lando from Rogue One, and besides wanting to have sex with my computer, it's a good-looking toy. Them going back and re-releasing these figures like this, to me, is cool, because it gives people, like our friend Trent, who listens to the show, who may not have had a chance to collect these, or Logan Michael 69, people that I know do collect action figures and toys, that don't want to go on the secondhand market and pay $80 or $90 for Bosk or IG-88, they can go to their local Toys R Us and get them re-released. And it's essentially the same figure. Maybe they'll put a different accessory. The box is going to be different, but the toy is the same. They did it with the 40th anniversary line with Vader. Well, Vader was new, but they did it in the 40th anniversary line with the Stormtrooper, Han, Luke, stuff like that. R2-D2 and C-3PO. I hope that they re-release the Stormtrooper, and I hope that they keep going back and digging out the old figures, giving them a new face, touching them up a bit. And, you know, that's the only thing I really ever wanted out of Star Wars toys, were give me the line, and then when you advance the technology, give me the line again. I know it sounds stupid and counterproductive, but I'm always in the search for the best version of each figure. And when I get the perfect one, well, then maybe they'll be able to top it, and I'll have to get another one. But thank you, the Grand Inquisitor. And I did see that, and I did pre-order myself a Bespin Han Solo from the Empire Strikes Back Black Series figure. And I might go on the Hasbro website and pick up the Comic-Con exclusive because I like Han Solo. Midnight Cherry TV, thank you very much for your super chat, and good morning. We are the heels in this shoot fight against Star Wars. The heels are the best. And if you don't know what a heel is, the heels are the bad guys in wrestling. The Rock was a heel. Stone Cold at one point was a heel. Bret Hart was best when he was a heel. Well, we're going to win. I don't care how we do it. We're going to win, guys. So thank you very much, Midnight Cherry TV. Jeff the Iron Wolf. Lucasfilm takes off. Lucasfilm, take off. Nuke from orbit. Only way to be sure. Maybe we could pull a Superman Returns and we just have Superman lift the ground and he flies into the sun and drops it there. And that way we can slingshot Steve Sansweet and a couple other people back, because there are some decent people at Lucasfilm. They just don't write the damn stories. Albedo, you're excited about the idea of a prequel trilogy commentary. Cheap plug for Patreon, for patrons. We've had that on there for months. So for $1, you can go over to Patreon and listen to all those commentaries right now. All the James Bond commentaries are over there. Rogue One commentary. The initial Force Awakens drunk commentary where I freak out and pass out during Ghostbusters. All those commentaries are there. But thank you, Jeff the Iron Wolf, for your super chat. I appreciate that. Brad Norris, thank you for your super chat, and good morning. Do you believe Lucas when he says he planned for Jar Jar to be the big bad in the prequels? No, I do not. Not one bit. I think George Lucas was pulling it out of his ass, and he was just trying to find an interesting way to keep people hooked from 1999 through 2005 to get to Darth Vader. Did he do it right? No. It could have been a lot better. But at least we got some awesome moments in episode 3. And when I was making my Clone Wars video and we were talking about the Siege of Mandalore arc that would take place during and after Revenge of the Sith, I got kind of sad but kind of excited at the same time, because how cool would that have been to see a Star Wars movie reenacted in the animation and then you see other moments right afterwards. That kind of stuff's cool to me. That's the stuff Star Wars should be doing instead of what we got now. But to answer your question specifically, no, Brad. I firmly believe that Lucas was just pulling shit out of his ass. I think his kids were responsible for Jar Jar. And we can go back and watch the making of episode 1 where Lucas agrees that he went back, or he went a little bit too far in certain places. There's video proof of that. So Kamikaze Johnson, that's a cool screen name. Thank you very much. Rian Johnson making his own Star Wars trilogy is as bad of an idea as James Gunn running a daycare. Both leave kids needing therapy. I'm an adult, and I'll still need therapy from that Rian Johnson trilogy. For me, him doing that is just career suicide. It's not smart on Disney's part. Maybe he'll be able to have, that on a resume, but who's going to go see it? There's a million people that guy pissed off. That's not a small portion. So they'll probably just not let it happen. They'll drag you along, and we're going to hear a lot of excitement. Oh, this is going to be the best Star Wars movie in episode 9. They're going to try to get people back. And instead of me trying to bring down people's fun, I'm just going to remind everyone what came before and what's currently happening. So everything could be better. What the Sith says, I'd buy Darth Vader if they'd re-release him. Well, What the Sith, make sure you just Google the 40th anniversary pack. Those things were overstocked, and I got one for $11. So check out your local bargain stores. You may be able to find a Darth Vader. Well, if you consider Marshall's a bargain store. I know a lot of people are talking about the Darth Jar Jar theory. I never really got into that, not because I don't like fun, just because fan theories never do it for me personally. But if that's what you're into, they can be fun for you. I actually don't mind fan theories that aren't the James Bond codename one. That's the one that pisses me off. Now, if Jar Jar pops up in episode 9, I might punch whoever's next to me. Let's hope it's Kendo, because Kendo deserves a good punch after all the dumb shit he's done. Kendo, if you're listening, good morning, my friend. So Star Wars Episode 9 news does not end there. I have a little bit more news that you might want to hear about. So this comes from cbcomicbook.com talking about Mara Jade. Press F if you're a fan of Mara Jade. You know what? Press F if you even know who Mara Jade is, because this is important to everyone. And yeah, everyone talking about Jeremy in the chat. Yes, Jer Binks is his proper name. I will only refer to him as Jer Binks in person. Jar Jar was on Alderaan. I could hope, man. Jar Jar, I think, is in Return of the Jedi. I don't know if Episode 9 is delayed or will be delayed, because remember a couple months ago when I made that video on how to contact Disney, I talked about the production start date for Episode 9 way back in March. So I kind of beat Mike Zero's news by like 4 months. Lots of Fs. Lots of Fs. Barbarella, you're behind on the stream. We're going to talk about the next portion of news. It revolves around Star Wars Episode 9. So, Star Wars, Mara Jade creator doubts she'll appear in Episode 9. So, they were interviewing Timothy Zahn for comicbook.com. And it says, when Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012, the studio rendered the expanded universe novels, comic books, and video games non-canonical, relying instead on the 6 live-action films in Star Wars The Clone Wars to create the only official canon. This eradicated some beloved characters from the official franchise, though some have found new life in a variety of properties. Some audiences believe in Mara Jade, a character who married Luke Skywalker, may be appearing in Episode 9, yet author and creator of the character, Timothy Zahn, doesn't think that is a likely scenario. If there was a generic or organic spot for her to fit into the story, I promise people I will pitch it to Lucasfilm Story Group, and then it's their decision whether or not to allow it. Zahn shared with the Talking Bay 94 podcast. Zahn is still an active collaborator with Lucasfilm, having recently written the novel Thrawn and the Thrawn Alliances. Despite the partnership, it doesn't necessarily mean the studio would actively incorporate him into the development of all of their stories. Zahn is, of course, welcome to contribute ideas, but whether or not the studio incorporates them is up to their own discretion. So, side note, if they're smart, they'll listen to Timothy Zahn, and they'll just only listen to Timothy Zahn. Earlier this year, reports resurfaced claiming that production was casting a role that was referred to as Mara, which understandably ignited theories that Mara Jade would appear in the film. It's unclear if those reports were true or if that was the actual name of the character, with Zahn's comments seemingly dashing the hopes of those who wished for an appearance by the character. Were Mara Jade to make an appearance, Were Mara Jade to make an appearance, it wouldn't be the first time the character was made famous by Timothy Zahn officially crossed over into the Star Wars canon. And then the rest talks about Thrawn. Star Wars Episode 9 will be hitting theaters December 20th of 2019. So while we're talking about Thrawn and Timothy Zahn, Thrawn and Zahn rhymes, whatever. Let's talk about our EU roundtable discussion, folks. So I'm going to shoot for next week. Listeners out there, if you've contacted me, I've talked back. I'm going to try. I can't do it on the 30th because I've been invited into another podcast, but maybe next Wednesday. If next Wednesday works for you guys, let me know. Now, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a roundtable discussion with self-proclaimed Star Wars Expanded Universe fans. And I want you guys to be here to ask questions, pitch ideas, all kinds of stuff. And they'll be able to talk about if it could work within the canon and stuff like that. I'm into film too. Thank you very much for yesterday, and thank you again this morning. Disney trying to bring back the old fans too late. I agree, I'm into film. They tried it with Lando. I don't think Lando's the draw. They've tried it with other characters. They've kind of just burned us too much. So I don't think that's going to do enough for everybody. Yes, Star Wars EU, blippity bloop. You can be here. Don't miss out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll probably start about 9 o'clock maybe, and we'll go for as long as everyone can stay awake. I know Wednesday's a hard sell for some people, but it's usually Patreon day, and I can take some time to record stuff at another time, another date. So make sure that you are here, because if it's successful, I'll get another group of Star Wars EU fans, and we'll have another discussion. That's the beauty of this channel. I can do whatever I want, and what I want to do is entertain you folks. So Star Wars The Expanded Universe is a topic that people are asking me about every day, and I mean it. Through the chat, through email, on Facebook, everything. People have ideas, they have pitches, It's too good to pass up. So we're going to talk about the Star Wars Expanded Universe at great length here on the channel. Oh, Mutali, what did you miss? Well, you missed the news and rumors from Star Wars Episode 9, and you missed Mara Jade may or may not be coming back for Star Wars Episode 9 as well. That came from Timothy Zahn, the horse himself. Cadmium Red, I understand if you guys can't stay up the whole time, but just get here early because I do my best to start on time. Unless it's the Back to the Future commentary, and I'm waiting for Dion and Kendo and Nick and everybody else. That's okay. I love those guys. Luke Russell, thank you very much for your super chat, and good morning. How Episode 9 should be written by Harry's the bad version. I don't get that reference. I apologize. If you'd like to clarify it by tagging me, I'll gladly read that on air because I don't like to leave people hanging with super chats. I don't understand that reference. I feel like Captain America right now. But if you talk about flying monkeys, I'll respond. Is Georgie Boy really going to come? I don't know. He's married. But the news and the rumors is that George Lucas... Let me read you this. By the way, folks, this is all rumor from Mike Zero. Ugh. So apparently Star Wars 9 will have a lot of prequel and original trilogy connections and continuity. Jar Jar Abrams knows a lot of fans didn't like The Last Jedi, and it's his mission to make the sequel the best one yet. He's really going to knock it out of the park. Rumor is that Disney and Lucasfilm brought in George Lucas to consult on the script while they pretty much turned their backs on him when The Force Awakens was first coming together. He's become like this trilogy's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Imagine Kathleen Kennedy calling out to him as their only hope. So what I think this is besides a cry for help, Disney fell to their by their own hubris. Kathleen Kennedy and the story group and all these people were just, whispering in your ear, hey guys, this is going to be great. We're going to do everything we can. This is Star Wars. We can't fuck up. They'll eat up all the bullshit we put out there. And people did it first. People were dumb. People bought into the hype. And then they saw the next film and the next film and the next film. And it's over. So now they have to go back to what worked. They have to go back to what people know and love. And George Lucas might be that person. Tony. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we have another super chat from Tony. Tony Alec. I'm sorry. It's early. I'm excited, but man, I feel like Jeremy right now. Except my hair's better. I hope Tico is the lust child of JJ and Mara Jade. That sounds sexy. Mark's Main says they would never ask Zahn for help. He's too qualified. Story group people would be clutching to their pearls in fear. Is it wrong that I had an image of Kiri Hart just holding pearls and, oh, never. We know why this shit was, why these people were hired. We talked about it last week on Good Morning Pop Culture and their qualifications. I mean, Crossing Jordan or Chasing Hope or whatever the name of that show was that she worked on doesn't make you qualified to write Star Wars. I'm kind of sad that we're in a place that we are now. Oh, Luke Russell said, here's the bad version. Channel, fan fiction. Oh, okay. Fan fiction has its place, but never as news. I think, like I always say on the show as a joke, we live in the alternate 1985 from Back to the Future 2, where Biff is corrupt and powerful and married to your mother, and Star Wars is garbage. Yeah, Doomcock was right. They'll never get another opportunity like this. They screwed the pooch. You'd think that people would be smarter by you get this opportunity and you do everything not to fuck it up, to prolong the big money and all that stuff. But they just burned it to the ground very quickly out of stupidity and ego and hubris. And you're right, Ratman John, Kathleen Kennedy will not divide us. World-class bullshitters, geeks and gamers, EVS will unite everyone, and we'll remember this shit. Just wait till Celebration in April with Channel Dad Brian Lape and everybody involved. It's going to be a party. Idio Hugima, thank you very much for your very generous super chat. Episode 9 will have to be better than Return of the Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back combined, with a plot that shatters Lord of the Rings for me to come back, and we all know that's never going to happen. Well, Idio Hugima and everyone listening, almost 700 of you, thank you. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it. We'll report it. We'll talk about any of the leaks. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about all that shit. And we'll have the best review on the internet. By the time episode 9 comes out, we'll have a much more refined format for movie reviews. And all the guys from out of town are going to be showing up. So we'll be doing that live on camera. You'll be able to see all of us if you want to. And then our episode 9 review will be better than the movie, I guarantee it. But your qualifiers for it being to get you back in theaters are pretty good. I mean, Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back combined, we kind of got that with The Last Jedi, but for all the wrong reasons. And I've never watched enough Lord of the Rings to get excited about the prospect of them topping Lord of the Rings. My only experience with Lord of the Rings was the first one in theaters, Fellowship of the Ring, and I fell asleep, and the very next day my mom was going to take me to go see episode 2 because as a kid we used to go out every Saturday night. She'd take me to dinner, and we'd go to the bargain movie. So Lord of the Rings was the one she wanted to see because she saw the commercial and thought it looked cool and thought I'd like it. Well, you got to love your mom. Well, my mom took me, and all I could think about was Star Wars, more Star Wars. This was the summer of Spider-Man, so that's all I gave a shit about was Spider-Man, and then Star Wars was going to be cool. And I didn't like any of them, so with the exception of Spider-Man, obviously. So Idia Hugima, just follow the channel. I know you do. You're here all the time, and we'll tell you if your expectations will be met. Nathan says, I've been trying to get a hold of you via email about the EU. Did you get my email, or did I get the email incorrect? If you could spell it out for me, I'd appreciate that. Thanks. Sure, Nathan, no problem. It's world, WORLD, class, CLASS, BS, at mail, MAIL.com, COM. I'm pretty much going to have you on, Nathan. Don't worry. We have 1 or 2 more spots. I think we have 4 or 5 people. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to be silent for a good majority of it to let these people. I'm going to proctor the questions type of thing so it can be civil and we can get deep into the discussion that everybody wants to have. Hell, I may even pick up one of my expanded universe novels that I'm looking at right now just so I can talk and be part of the conversation. I'm excited about this. Henry Cavill as Bond. I like it. I really like the idea. And yeah, folks, John is right. Smash that like button, like that smash button. Let's get the likes up. We have 700 people in here. We're having really good numbers this morning. Let's get Good Morning Pop Culture to be a trending thing on YouTube every day. Let's beat Good Mythical Morning. Like, Rhett and Link are okay dudes. I don't really have anything bad to say about them. But Good Morning Pop Culture is a much better community. And I don't need to spin a wheel or eat a waffle made of lipstick or anything stupid like that. I'll just talk to you, give you some real talk, and we'll have a lot of fun every morning. Sire J. Longstroke, thank you very much. I am listening to you while drinking beer and studying Korean language. Thank you for being entertaining. Sometimes studying gets boring. Sire J. Sire J. Longstroke, I know that's the truth. I went to college. I studied languages. It does get boring and monotonous at times. For me, and this is just me, I'm not giving you advice to study because do you. But for me, what I would do is I would repeat the shit until I could recite it in my sleep. And then I'd get my good grade and I'd move on to the next class, which I've forgotten everything I pretty much learned from college. So I'm glad that we can be a nice break from studying. It'd be interesting for you guys to let me know how you listen to World Class Bullshitters. I don't ask out of some egotistical need to know, how I play a part in your life. I just find it interesting to hear how you guys consume World Class Bullshitters. I mean, the analytics can only tell me so much. But like Sire J. Longstroke says, drinking beer and studying Korean languages. That's interesting and new to me. A lot of people listen at work. A lot of people listen on the way to work or streaming or other things like that. So just let me know. I always find that interesting. So thank you, Sire J. Longstroke. Cesario Japan says, Desperation Point, Star Wars Holiday Special on Blu-ray. Well, thank you, Cesario Japan. I appreciate your super chat. And I don't know if they'll ever put the holiday special on Blu-ray. They've never put it on DVD. They never put it on VHS. There was just that TV edit floating around. It sucks. When EVS, Jeremy and I get together to review it, I might hit my head on a fucking desk because the Star Wars holiday special is the only Star Wars thing that I walked out on in the middle of. I don't like it. It fucking sucks. Lost Cause, I've read some of the EU books. I've read The Courtship of Princess Leia. There's one called like Dark Saber or something. I've read some. A.C. Crispin's Han Solo trilogy. I didn't realize that the A in A.C. Crispin stood for Anne. I don't care. Women have written great Star Wars books. Let's not act like that's a thing or not a thing. Gamepad's getting his first car. Well, Gamepad, my first car was a 93 Toyota Camry, and it was $1,000. So, yay, it was a piece of shit. Let's see. Oh, we had a lot of super chats pop up. Don't want to miss anybody's. Thank you to everyone. So we had S Gamble 121682. I'll only see episode 9 based on a High Council review. Well, you'll have to wait because it's gonna be interesting. There'll be 4 reviews then from us. There'll be mine, Ethan, Jeremy's, and then all of ours combined the following Tuesday. So if you can wait that long, we'll give it to you. Trust me. John Hoy, somebody made us a gift to share. Hashtag SCTYHMO. Well, John, you know how to contact me over on Facebook. Wait, you did send it to me over on Facebook. Let me check that out real quick. Because if they made a gift for us and I want to react to it on air, while we're waiting, let's, listen to Cesare Japan. Let's spam this to get this on the front page every day. Let's see the GIF. It's loading, guys. While it's loading, let's see. The morning stuff I listen to live when I'm home from work and need to kick back. Other stuff I listen to at the gym, says Lost Cause. Anakin, the Disney story girl was evil. From my perspective, the fans are evil. Then you are truly lost. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to share that to our Facebook page. Let's see if I can do it right now on air. Axel Ra says, are you going to dive into the OG Thrawn trilogy? Yes, we're going to talk about that on the EU discussion. Maybe the first one will be more of a coverall for the EU stuff, and then I'll ask for specific arcs and have experts come on. So if you guys just want to be on there, all you have to do is have read the books and have something to talk about and a decent mic. If you're in a wind tunnel or you're driving home or you're in a gymnasium where you play handball or something where there's a big echo, reconsider calling in then. But, I definitely want to have as many people on. I listen to you guys while at work, listing comic books at sellmycomicbooks.com. Well, I hope that plug helps you out there. Sellmycomicbooks.com. Put out a WCBS coffee line, says Peter. Well, Peter, I'm going to put out a World Class Bullshitters coffee mug soon. It's going to be a Good Morning Pop Culture mug and a World Class Bullshitters coffee mug. My email, again, is worldclassbs@mail.com. So that's just how you contact us, how you get on there. Don't worry. If you don't make it on the first one, well, I'm probably just going to do 2 or more if a lot of people show up. Imagine a waffle made of a Rose Tico action figure. Ugh. That's one thing I do not want to eat. So, Idia Hugima, thank you again for your super chat. I'm just a bit exaggerating. I just want a solid movie with good plot and interesting characters. So far, only Rogue One barely delivered that. Like on an IV feed. Yeah, like I said before, I gave Rogue One very high marks when I first saw it, and then I watched it a few more times, and I'm like, it's like a 7 out of 10. But I'm with you on that statement. It's the only one that's delivered. Barely. Thank God for K2SO. The robot is the most human of any of the characters in that movie. What's his face? Cassian Andor, boring. Jyn Erso, okay. I don't really care about her daddy issues. Galen Erso, Director Krennic, to me, is the real hero of that film. Best, most well-developed character. I definitely love him most. Let's see. Darth Malrock says, what do you think of Revan? Is Darth Revan the one from the video game? Because I like that one. I like the design. I like the EU character designs, hell, more than the new current Star Wars movie designs. Kylo Ren looks stupid. Darth Revan looks cool. And I like the twist, which I don't want to announce on air, because I guess I do have to take into account there are new Star Wars fans. Much like I have to take into consideration every World Class Bullshitter video is someone's first World Class Bullshitters video. You just have to. And I don't want to ruin the twist for you guys, so... The Pui, morning, Jeff. Well, morning to you, the Pui. Now it's a party that the Pui is here. Thank you again. Tom Veitch is a good Star Wars writer from back in the day. I'll have to check that out. Jeff the Iron Wolf, if you could please send that email again. so I can respond to you. Now, one thing about the email is I'm not the only one that has access to it. Sometimes, stuff gets cleared out by mistake. We do have that troll that harasses us and sends us really messed up stuff. So that could have happened. It could have got accidentally booted out of the way. I apologize to anyone that's ever tried to contact us and we didn't respond back. I do my best. Nathan says, I think I'll post it on the Facebook podcast page. Please do. Please do. And if you haven't joined that already, everyone, make sure you've joined our Facebook pages. It's a community. If you like listening and talking in the chat, imagine that access all the time. We're not some crazy fringe group. We're just a bunch of people that like entertainment, and we don't want to see it ruined and bastardized. And Abomino listens at work. Ray is not Coolio. That is very true. Coolio is black. He's also very poor, but I do love some of his old music from the 90s. Let's see. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey says, idea for the unsold Star Wars toys. Build Trump's wall with them. Bam. 2 problems solved. They'll probably melt in the sun because the quality's so low, though. Plus, some collector's going to roll up and be like, oh my God, they got the 4th wave Princess Leia from the Rebels show. I need it. And then they'll tear it out and, the wall falls down. Fans find a way. John Hoy says, Hoy, you nailed it. Hashtag super chat till you have me on. Well, John Hoy, I listen. And I believe you were the kind gentleman that sent me the links to Star Wars, right? The Harmy stuff, right? Was that you? Crap. There we go. Yes, you did send me the Harmy links. Thank you again for that. I'm going to watch those. I mean, I've seen the original trilogy. That's what I first saw. So my review isn't going to be as much on the movie as it is me talking about the technical aspect and little bitty things. Now, if I'm critical, I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate you sending me those. There are certain technical things that I didn't like, but I'm so thankful that you sent them to me because I didn't know how to find them for years. I wanted them years ago, and I just had no clue. Insanity Methods. Thank you for your super chat. A big complaint about the prequels focused too much on special effects. Sequels seem to be same, just with less story. That's a good point to bring up because everyone used to bitch about the CGI. I even said there's too much CGI, but at least there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. For me, the way they marketed episode 7 was unforgivable. It was real set, practical effects. OMG, remember this? We're using the original lens from the first Star Wars movie. Is that why the movie looked exactly the same? It had the same plot points. It's because you used that same lens, JJ? Maybe so. Maybe that's the point. But they never marketed it as something that's going to be new and innovative and different. They tricked everybody one time. And I think Star Wars failures will be good for everyone because if they ever bring back another iconic franchise, they can't pull that shit again. People are aware of it. Star Wars revolutionized many things, and it also brought a lot of shit to people's attention. So the fans will collectively say, hey, you screwed me once, shame on you. Screw me twice, shame on me. There won't be a third time. The prequels did focus too much on that stuff, but at least they had some cool and unique and innovative effects too. You got to see things in Star Wars that you never saw that were neat. I hate Jar Jar, but the Gungan City looked cool. The Theed throne room and that lightsaber duel was awesome. I'm not even going to try to act like I didn't like it and still don't. I still watch it every once in a while. The asteroid field chase from Attack of the Clones has great sound work and really cool visuals. Kamino was different and interesting. Nothing in these Star Wars prequels are different and interesting. Oh, we go to Crate. But the Battle of Crate's so intense. Guys, it was cool in 1980 when it was called the Battle of Hoth. The guy literally touches the fucking ground. This is salt. That's how stupid. That's how far we've been removed from a decent plot. I'm sorry. I can't get too upset like this in the morning. It colors my whole day negatively. Hello, Benobi. Thank you for being here. I know you're a little late. You'll have to catch up with us. But there's a lot to catch up on. But it's worth your time. Trust me. You like the ship design from the prequels. I do too. Padme's ship was awesome in episode 2. It looked like one of those old planes from the 40s and 30s or 40s. You know, the one that Indiana Jones flew on during the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The Naboo Starfighter was interesting. The Jedi Starfighter was awesome. And I liked how those ships evolved into what we knew. Like, Lucas had a good plan. Now, we still have X-Wings and TIE fighters that haven't really evolved. They're just like, hey guys, remember this? Feel this in your heart, as I'm touching my heart actually. You remember that? You remember being a little kid in Christmas of 78 and getting your X-Wing that went, and that was it? Yeah, we want your money. We want you to feel things. That's all they're doing. It's all scientifically planned out, and it worked once. Now people's consciousness they're rising above that bullshit, and they're like, hey, I see it. I see through the garbage. Not again. Obi-Wan 27883, thank you very much for your super chat. Unless they somehow retcon things through time travel or waking up from the Force bad dream, I don't know how bringing anyone in, even George Lucas, can fix it. I have a question for you, Obi-Wan, as well as everyone in the chat. What if they just blatantly ignored it and just said, like, without actually saying it, they're just like, fuck the last movie. We're not even going to follow continuity, much like JJ had Rian do to him. What if that's what they do next? It's not going to save the movie. I'm not going to magically forgive it. I don't forgive movies on intention. I care about execution. Intention's good for like people in real life. Like, oh, you gave me this really crappy gift, but you know, your intention was to make me happy. That's a different thing. That's somebody doing something out of the kindness of their heart for you. This, hey, we were going to do this and, you know, represent this and that in Star Wars. You failed on the screen. You failed to me. I would like, though, if J.J. Abrams was just like, fuck the last one, we're done. We're going to move on. We're going to save Star Wars. Doesn't Jeremy say make Star Wars great again? Well, it's going to take a lot more than J.J. Abrams and some script. But I personally would like if they just ignored it all. Now, I don't think they're going to do time travel, and I don't think they're going to do a dream. They're going to take what they have, and I think a lot of people are going to watch based on curiosity, morbid curiosity. People are going to want to know, like, how are they going to fix this? What's going to happen? Jeremy's not going to see it. Ethan and I will see it. We're basically going to see it just for the fact that we have to see it for you guys. We can't not. The channels are too big to ignore something like that. I think everyone would be pissed if I didn't review it for you guys. A planet of blow. We will soon have the Ortega cut of The Last Jedi, and it looks glorious so far. I talked to Ivan yesterday. He wants to help me edit a video for the channel. So press F if you'd like Ivan Ortega to help me edit a video for the channel. He's an awesome dude. I'm not just saying that to, you know, to spin it and sound like we're all buddy-buddy. He was the most genuine person that I've ever met behind the scenes after the High Council. Like, I love Ethan, love Jeremy. They're fun as shit. But Ivan was just so genuine and pure. And so I hope that guy's channel gets giant. He does great work, and he's a really good dude underneath it all. So if you haven't subscribed to Ivan Ortega's channel, don't just listen to the name and say, oh, I'll do that later. Open a new tab. And if you can't open a new tab, we'll listen to the show. I'll remind you at the end to go subscribe to Ivan Ortega's channel. The dude does great work, and he's a nice guy, and he deserves it. Astro Walker, thank you very much for your super chat, and good morning. World building in the sequels is unforgivably bad. It doesn't feel like a lived-in universe like the original trilogy and prequel trilogy. 7 and 8 are unbelievably cynical films. Yeah. Stuff also feels just like a set. You talked about world building. For me, Mos Eisley, maybe it was a small budget, but it looks like a grimy place that you could go to and feel dangers around every corner type of thing. Hoth felt small and claustrophobic, and your life was in danger at all times. Them trying to replicate certain elements just don't work. Like, there's character to the Death Star. It's cold, it's sterile, but it has character. The lighting, that hum that's always there, that like vibration that you hear at the core of the Death Star, that kind of stuff adds to Star Wars. I don't think you have people now, like people nowadays, they can prove to you that attention spans are shorter. They can prove to you that people want instant gratification. The people that make these movies are those people. They're not focused on building up something that will stand the test of time. They want it now, and they want it quick, and they want money. And they just pump out anything. The world building took time. The world building, because things were real back then too. Even the prequels that had CGI shit, like Kamino felt like a real place. Didn't look necessarily real. I'm not going to defend the bad CGI or the overabundance of it. But each of those planets and those locations felt different and fresh. You know, the original Star Wars trilogy didn't have water at all. No, none on Tatooine, Yeah, there was no water, but the prequels brought in underwater right away in episode 1. Then we had mostly a water planet in episode 2. And then in 3, we saw a potpourri of other random planets where, what's her face, Aayla Secura was shot down. It was that jungle-looking planet with all those crazy trees and stuff. The Jedi death scenes, you got to see a different side of the galaxy that made Star Wars feel more living. You got to see Kashyyyk, finally, Chewbacca's home planet. You finally got what you wanted in Return of the Jedi, the planet of the Wookiees. Now, if they had the planet of the Wookiees back in the day, we would have had a much better finale to Star Wars. But we have what we have, and there's no use to constantly complain about the Ewoks. They suck. I don't like them. Return of the Jedi has some moments of greatness, though. But Astro Walker, there is a cynicism to episodes 7 and 8. I think that also comes from the creators of those. They don't have any wonder. They're not worried about telling a story and reaching people on an emotional level. Rian Johnson's an idiot, just flat out an idiot. And his round head, all he focuses on is subverting expectations and doing stupid shit. It's like if we're making a really nice meal and all he's focused on is like the saline content of the water to boil your potatoes in. Like, yeah, that's important that you put enough salt in the water to boil the potatoes, but everything else is fucked up. But he was worried about that one thing, and everything else was just, whatever, guys, I don't care. That's what he did. And J.J. Abrams is stupid. Too stupid to create anything on his own. So I think Disney was the cynical party in episode 7 creation. For those wondering about the Star Wars holiday special, I think we're moving it to next week. I'll get back to you guys soon. I haven't heard anything about it. Because when we left last week off air, we all said we'll see each other on Tuesday. So I'm assuming that we're skipping it this weekend. I'm into film. Thank you again very much for your super chat. It's going to take several years in movies to repair the damage that Kathleen Kennedy and Disney has done to this franchise. I will wait for 9 to come out on DVD. Not even a Blu-ray purchase from I'm into film. Folks, if you are going to take that approach, just rent it from your local library. Don't even pay money. Don't Redbox it. Don't even give that $1. Your curiosity ain't worth $1 to Disney. But if that's the case into film, just listen to our review here. We'll definitely have it covered. And we'll even get a commentary out fairly early so you guys can hear us rip into it live. The speeders were a knockoff the B-Wing fighter. Yeah, they were. They were. And Rose Tico can't pilot for shit. Kevithar1138. Welcome back to the channel and good morning, my friend. Therapy monies for your anger, Jeff. Feel the same. Have to bail for work now, though. Have a great day, and we'll listen tonight. Well, thank you, Kevithar1138. I hope you caught me read your super chat on air. I know the anticipation is just killing you. But thank you for everything. Gamepad, I can't wait to hear about your car. I know you're excited. I know you love the Fast and the Furious, and you love your car, or your soon-to-be car. And I remember I was 18 before I got a car, but it was worth waiting because I didn't have to pay for, driver's ed. By the way, folks, Ivan Ortega's channel is just called Ivan Ortega. Let's see. Where are we at? I got to catch up on these chats. Keep the show rolling. Again, thank you, Kevithar. Sean Gilbert. If JJ snubs 8 like RJ versus 7, I'll watch it with glee. Well, first off, Sean, thank you for your super chat. There will be a certain level of schadenfreude on my end to see basically 2 directors have a proverbial dick measuring contest. It's like, well, my Star Wars made $2 billion. Well, my Star Wars ruined the franchise. Top that, bitch. Like, that's what you're going to have with this. And hopefully, I enjoy laughing at their failures and shortcomings, but I would, a big part of me wants to go back to remembering how good Star Wars makes me feel. Like, hey, guys, we'll go back, and it's a nice reminder of what was. So hopefully they do that, and hopefully they just piss on the legacy that is Episode 8. Wouldn't you guys shit, though, if stuff from Episode 8 in the future is regarded as rare and valuable, and it's like, yeah, I saw it for $1. Ethan had 40 things of Rose Tico, but now people are it's in demand. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, we do go to Kashyyyk on the holiday special through a matte painting and the magical wonders of Harrison Ford not giving a shit. Obi-Wan 27883, thank you for your $5 super chat. The Force Awakens was still shit. Ignoring 8, albeit funny, and would be Ignoring 8, albeit funny, and would be getting serious karma blowback, it's not enough. Lucasfilm needs to learn importance of continuity. I agree that they do need to learn the importance of continuity, but how do you continue from that? I don't think any other franchise has had such a problem. You know, Spider-Man 3 could have easily rebounded with Spider-Man 4, and we wouldn't have had the same problem. I think the fact that, not even I think, I know that because they abandoned number 3 and went to the Amazing Spider-Man and then 2 and all that dumpster shit that they created and called Spider-Man, that hurt the legacy of Spider-Man for many, many years. For a decade straight, Spider-Man was looked at as a viable character, but the films were just in the toilet. I wish Disney, if Disney had to buy a company, I wish it wouldn't have been Fox. I wish it would have been fucking like Sony Pictures or just all the rights they hold, because Sony Pictures can't make anything that's not cynical. The last thing that they made that I enjoyed was probably 21 Jump Street. I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly what the last Sony film I saw, but they made Ghostbusters 2016, and you know, we remember that that time in life, and it wasn't very good. But thank you, Obi-Wan. Yeah, and continuity is very important. It is very important. Rogue Leader, the email is worldclassbs@mail.com. And you can email me, and I'll be getting back to you soon. Uriah, right? Morning, Mr. Bullshitter. Just kidding, Jeff. Hey, I respond to Jeff, Mr. Shitter, Mr. Bullshitter. Hey, you, all of that. Just you know, say hey. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're here. Darth Malrak says, he failed at subverting expectations too. His plot twist made the film less interesting, not more. I think, well, I know you're right on that one, but I think what a lot of people were focused on is what's happening here, and they were not even paying attention to the movie. He put all these stupid, bright things in front of you that had no substance. Remember Canto Bight, folks, and how useless that moment was in the film. That's what Rian Johnson focused on. That's where his heart and soul was with Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, Canto Bight, and a political commentary on socialism or capitalism or whatever I meant to say. One of those isms. He sure as shit wasn't focused on telling a coherent story that built on the legacy of the franchise. And enough people cared to keep talking about it because it was that bad. Rian Johnson is a failure. When he dies, I'm going to pay for his headstone. Here lies Rian Johnson. He never scored. Actually, it'll say, here lies Rian Johnson. He failed us all. Sounds mean, but it's not really inaccurate. Grendelfan84. Good morning from Comics Elite. We sent out friend requests to you and World Class Bullshitters on Facebook yesterday. Also, we tweeted you some cool SDCC stuff. Well, Grendelfan of Comics Elite, thank you. I got your friend request. As you saw, I accepted it. We'll be talking about comic books behind the scenes soon, but thank you for joining us every morning here on Good Morning Pop Culture, and I'll be checking out your tweets soon. Comic-Con wasn't really a bust for me this year. There were some things that interested me. I loved talking about all the trailers on Monday, or not on Monday, on Tuesday. That was one of my favorite episodes that we've ever had on the show. I just loved it. It was nice to talk about Godzilla and Aquaman and all that shit. So thank you, Grendelfan84. I appreciate that. And folks, Comics Elite, check them out. We had a very generous super chat from me. Thank you, me. And what's up, Channel Dad Brian Lape? I would 3D print my own Star Wars, Star Trek, Robotech, Terminator toys and cosplay. Forget about corporate toy companies. I'm even making my own R2-D2 3D printed. Well, me, if you'd ever like to share that with the listeners, make sure you post it to our Facebook. I'd love to see your homemade creations. 3D printing is really neat. I never really understood how, I mean, I understand how it works. I've seen videos on it. I've seen products made through a 3D printer. I get it. I just have never seen a 3D printer in person, but it sounds cool. It looks cool. I like how people are able to make their own custom toys. If any creative people out there know of excellent doll makers or just, you know, Hot Toys doll makers that can make me an Axel Foley, I will pay if it looks just like Hot Toys quality. But me, thank you for your super chat, and I do want you to share that kind of stuff with us. Terminator toys. I actually went online and almost picked up a NECA Terminator figure just out of nostalgia there, based on the 90s Kenner line. And I remember going to Toys R Us and getting the T-800 endoskeleton. And I remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger in the purple shirt. My friend Tim Haley had it. It was an interesting action figure. Now I kind of want just a straight up T-800 Arnold Schwarzenegger from T2 before he cuts his arm off. I love that movie so much. Press F if you'd listen to our Terminator watch party, where it would be I know the first two Terminators back to back. Claustoric is back, folks. Good morning. Did you ever catch the Twi'lek boobs in Return of the Jedi? It was in Jabba's palace before he fed her to the Rancor. Thank you, Claustoric. And yes, I did. It was Ula. Her boobs popped out. I'm surprised that they never edited that. Wow, can't speak. I'm surprised they never cut that out of the special edition. For all the other things like the blaster bolts hitting people's chests, they never took out the boobs. So maybe George Lucas is opposed to violence but likes boobs. And I like boobs too. So I'm glad they never cut that moment out. And by the way, I think it's really interesting, even more than the boobs, yes, I just said that on air, the fact that they hired that lady back, 15 years later or 14 years later to refilm her scenes, and she was in better shape in 1996 or 1997 than she was in 1982. So that is a testament to her dedication to her physical fitness. So thank you, Claustoric. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you're here every day. A lot of people ripping on Sony. Do you reply to Guy, Jeff, or do you flip out and try to cancel a convention? Who canceled a convention by being called Guy? Oh, you mean on the Worldcon thing? I'm pretty easy going. It's going to take a lot to piss me off. Just make sure I've eaten before you, joke with me, or else I get crazy when I don't eat. I guess it's low blood sugar, even though I'm not a diabetic. American Trent 007. Mr. Shitter, your shitter's full. Cousin Eddie. Well, thank you, Trent, for letting me know. I'll drain it right in my neighbor's lawn. By the way, folks, make sure that you pay attention to Trent, because Trent will be on the channel fairly soon. He's been going through all the James Bond films, and these are his first viewings, and he's been giving me little status updates on his thoughts. And I'm going to have Trent on here, and we're going to have a little mini roundtable, and we're going to discuss how the Bond films play for somebody that's watching them in modern context. And we'll talk about his favorites, my favorites, stuff like that. Maybe we'll break it down into two, the first 10 and then the next 10 or something like that. But thank you, Trent. Colonel Comics says, Roundhead Ryan is the soy king to us progressives. Thank you, Colonel Comics. Ryan Roundhead Johnson is the soy king. I'd wear a t-shirt that says soy king with his face on it. I'd wear it to, I don't know, Trader Joe's or something, see if anybody talks to me. Lots of F's. Okay, we're going to make that happen then. Did Linda Hamilton use steroids in T2? I'm not sure. Linda Hamilton is a scary chick. Governor Tarkin. I noticed your foul stench when I was brought on board of my own house. Governor Tarkin says, just wanted to say hello and good morning. Well, thank you, Governor Tarkin. I appreciate that. And good morning to you, my friend. Just don't blow up my home planet. Comanche Viper, thank you for joining our Back to the Future watch party and for the kind words you had to say about it. Back to the Future is my favorite film, hands down. It's really hard for me to do commentaries based on films I love, because when I watch a film 10, 20, 100, 300 times, I'm not really watching every time for the story. I'm trying to pick up little details that I may have missed in all the previous viewings. Like when I watch Die Hard, I always learn little itty-bitty things each time about the movie. Or, for example, Beverly Hills Cop, which I think I have to be honest with myself. I think that's the movie I love the most. It's going to take a while for me to admit it, but I think Beverly Hills Cop is my favorite movie. I don't know why. I watch it every day and never admit to it. But just little bitty things when I watch it each time blow my mind. I'm like, oh, that's why Axel did this, or that's why this was said. Beverly Hills Cop is truly the forgotten blockbuster that most people haven't seen these days, and it's sadly a bargain bin movie because of the legacy of Eddie Murphy kind of, dumping into the toilet. I need to check out Doomcock's newest video. I actually need to get Doomcock on the show again. Have him join me for a video like this, a live hangout where we talk about everything. Doomcock's a cool dude on and off air. Great voice, too. So jealous of his voice. I couldn't begin to do anything like that. I mean, I could talk like Ethan. I could go, hello, everyone. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Soy, Rose Tico. Or I could just be myself. Scott, if you have any news about Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants being canceled, I'd love you to link me that, and I will look that up right now and we'll read it on air, because that's news to me. Doomcock should be on everything. Yeah, Doomcock should be on everything. What scene from Jaws gives you goosebumps? I hate Jaws because I hate fucking sharks. So I don't know if it gives me goosebumps. It makes me uncomfortable, but that's the point. Yeah, I miss Eddie Murphy too. Doomcock got grumpy when someone suggested he was from Midnight's Edge. You know, Midnight's Edge had him on. Midnight's Edge, I need to email that Andre dude back. They're very polite and they reached out, so I don't want to be rude. But I want to get here's my plan. I want to get Midnight's Edge on. I want to get Doomcock on. I want to get Mauler and Dishonored Wolf together on. So those are my next 3 YouTuber hangouts that I want to get on this channel. So let me know, guys, if you want me to make that happen. Someone's going to gift Doomcock a PS4. I wish somebody would gift me an Xbox One X. Just kidding. I wouldn't play it. If somebody did gift it to me, I'd keep it and I'd open it up and review it and do all that shit. I'd actually dust off the 4K TV I never opened to play it on. But, you know, maybe someone can gift me like no student debt. That would be a life game changer. Midnight Spares. Jeff, you have a great radio/YouTube voice. Good morning. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Like I said before, I used to hate my voice. Now I've embraced it, and I just love doing this all the time. Doomcock really wants Anti-Trekker on. Well, maybe I'll have Anti-Trekker and Doomcock together here on World Class Bullshitters, because it's going to be a couple weeks before we have guests back on the High Council. So I don't want you guys to get too anxious. I almost said antsy. So anxious and antsy is anxious about that. It will happen eventually, but I don't want to give you guys false hope and a date and not do it. So I don't want to subvert your expectations. Let's see. Dio Brando, thank you for your super chat. Shark Week is this week, by the way, Jeff. They had footage of a 20-foot great white shark. Its dorsal fin was as big as a person. Yeah, fuck that. I've been to aquariums. I'm not afraid of sharks. I don't want to be in water with a shark. That's my thing. That's my nightmare. If I were to fall off a fucking boat and there's a great white shark and to be eaten, no, thank you. Like, I could watch Shark Week. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. They had an advertisement for it at the gym. Guy Fieri is on Shark Week. It's just the damn thought of being in there with one. Like, Dion's afraid of looking at horses in pictures. He's afraid of mannequins on TV. I just don't want to be eaten by a fucking shark. I don't think that's an irrational fear to have. If you guys think it's an irrational fear, that's fine. I should be watching Shark Week. I don't actually have cable, so I can't watch anything. I have Hulu, I have Netflix, Amazon, and the WWE Network and Shudder. So I get my entertainment through streaming or YouTube. You want an Xbox One X, says Ether Prime. I really wanted to get one. I hate to admit it. It was Phil got one. I'm like, damn it, it plays backwards games. It does this, it does that. I was like, that looks so fucking cool. I have all my old Xbox games. I could get some of my favorite 360 games back. This is the first Xbox I never owned. I had the original and I had the 360, and I loved them both. But the DRM and all that shit from E3 2013 really turned me off to the Xbox brand. So I was given a PS4 for Christmas that year, and I don't regret it. Insanity Methods, thank you very much for your super chat. Special effects don't tell a story. George Lucas. I agree. George Lucas has become the thing he hates, and he admitted it himself. If you go back and watch the Empire Dreams documentary, he talks about how he wanted to fight the studio system and how at the end of the day, he became the studio system himself. So he became what he hates. I think a lot of people in their careers become what they hate. It's like a lot of people say, oh, I'll never be like my father. Well, then they become their father, metaphorically speaking. That's what Lucas did. Lucas became the antithesis of what he used to be. Remember his plea about, you should never colorize black and white films. And now he's the guy that refuses the Library of Congress an original negative of Star Wars from 1977. So George Lucas is a complex character. A lot of people respect him. You should respect him. He's a person, so give him that. A lot of people love him for what he's done. And I guess I'm in the boat of I love what he's done in the past. But he wasn't perfect. Star Wars hasn't been perfect since 1980. You want me to tell Doomcock that he is Mike Zero? Sure, I'll tell him that when he's on air. I should just do a video called Let's Troll Doomcock, where you guys can troll him for an hour. People are telling me it's a valid fear about my dislike of sharks, so thank you guys. I'm into film. When I used to surf, I had a shark brush me several times. That is not a comfortable feeling. That would be the type of shit where I clinch up and just, I'm like, oh God, no. So to be fair, though, too, there's a famous story about a kid on Virginia Beach who was on the beach and a shark ripped his arm off and he lost all this blood and he had brain damage and he was on the beach in the shallow water. I was there like the day before. So that's another reason why it adds to my dislike of sharks. So there we go. Was the Aquaman poster like a horror poster to me? No, that's okay. I was able to handle that. Who would be a good guest for our American Psycho commentary? I believe Trent would be a good guest for our American Psycho commentary. Trent, that's all about you, dude. You're a patron of the show. That's one of the benefits you get. It's your commentary. Now, you can invite anyone you'd like, and I will try to get them on, just like I would try to get them on any show. But it's all yours, man. You make the call. Hell, if you didn't want me on there, well, that'd be kind of weird because we couldn't stream it, but you can get what you want with world-class bullshitters. I think someone asked me earlier, Klaus Dork had another super chat. Marty almost became his father. Thank you, Klaus Dork. That's true. What's weird is I find like that stuff in real life creepy, but when I watch Back to the Future, I don't really get that creeped out when I watch the scene with him and Lorraine. It's uncomfortable, but I'm just not like, ew, ew, ew type of thing. Like when they talk about it on like Dr. Phil or Steve Wilkos, those real life events, you know, stories of that happening. Somebody asked me a question that was actually pretty good. What was it about? Besides the special effects or something, what do I like about episode 2? I believe that was the question. Or was it what I don't like? I thought the opening was pretty cool on Coruscant. That was different and unique. A car chase in Star Wars. That was fun. And I like the part where they go to the outlier parts of the city, where they go through the power couplings and they get electrocuted and shit, and the car kind of dies. That was neat. You got to see another bar, a classy bar with Star Wars. They went to that nightclub and they were watching sports, and Anthony Daniels and Jar Jar Binks was there. It was there were some neat moments to that. People are telling me it's still a wise reaction to be afraid of sharks. Yeah, I just don't like the idea of being eaten. Let's see. Do I think Indiana Jones should be like 007 and keep starting a new cycle of films? Well, Tin Man, I think Indiana Jones should be done. It should have been done in 1989. The only positive I have from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was the fact that it got us an awesome toy line. So I'm thankful for that. There's always a positive to be had out of these things. And that was the positive out of Indiana Jones 4. The toy line based off the original films. The fight with Jango Fett was dope. Jango Fett was cool. I went out because I was burned by episode 1. And so that was 99, May. A little later, I got into Pokemon, which I thought was cool back then. And then I got into wrestling at the end of 99. And I know a lot of people don't like wrestling, so I'm not going to specifically talk about it. But that hit me so hard with how cool I thought it was that I forgot about everything I was into before that. And I went straight to wrestling. And I stuck with wrestling all the way up until now, obviously. But episode 2 had come out, or was about to come out. And I saw Jango Fett. And I thought Jango Fett was so cool that I picked up a figure and stuff before I even saw the movie. I wish he wouldn't have died. I really wish it would have been Boba Fett. And Boba Fett would be a lot older and add more mystique to the character. I don't like knowing him as a little boy. See, that's a George Lucas moment where he messed up. B3 Chandler, thank you for your super chat. You, Jeremy, Jim Cornette, and Bruce Pritchard for an old school wrestling live stream would be amazing. Also, since it's Shark Week, include Shark Boy. Well, thank you for your kind words, B3 Chandler. I would kill to have Bruce Pritchard on the show. Bruce Pritchard has the best wrestling podcast ever. Part of me never wants to try to do another episode of our old wrestling podcast because it won't top Bruce Pritchard's show. Like, he was there. Like he says, and he doesn't give a shit. No, but him and Conrad do a great show. And Jim Cornette, I've met Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette was very friendly and funny when we met him. Same with Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake. We met him at a convention, and by we, I mean Dan and I, back when I was working my conventions trying to make money and do shit that way. And they were all cool people. The nicest people were Demolition, though. I made a poster print of them, and they were like, can we have one? They gave me autographed pictures. They took photos with me. They were really nice, genuine guys. They were like China. They seemed to be honored that I took the time to draw them. So that was cool. I liked doing it, and it was really nice to meet them. But I would love to have those guys on a roundtable discussion. Ferret Fighter, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Is the High Council recognizing how they choose will be on the show? Excuse me. Is the High Council reorganizing how they choose who will be on the show? Is this why no guests right now? Just curious. We really didn't have enough people for the next cycle. Like, we kind of work in cycles. So I take myself as the last in a cycle. So it goes Jeremy, Ethan, and then me. And since Jeremy didn't have anything lined up after the week, then Ethan is going to choose not to, and then I won't. So that's kind of how we do it. We don't really have problems with guests or anything. It's just not going to be happening for the short term because of, we just want to keep the cycle balanced. So Ferret Fighter, we're always looking to make the show the most engaging couple of hours on the internet. You know, it's funny. The High Council actually does better numbers than the LA Beast. And if you don't know who LA Beast is, he has like 2.5 million YouTube subscribers. And he's been on Jay Leno and all over the world making videos and shit. He's a big YouTuber. He makes a lot of money. We consistently beat his live streams every week. So that just goes to show the power that the High Council has, that you guys have. It's pretty awesome. Because LA Beast is a YouTuber that I've watched for years. I love his videos. They're so dumb. I watch them when I get drunk with Dion. LA Beast here. Like, we watch all of his shit. And the fact that we beat him consistently is just, it's a moment of pride for me. People are talking about playing Pokemon. I had the cards. They were great back in the day, guys. What's going on in Indy in August? Oh, do you mean Indiana in August? We're going to Indianapolis Horror Hound, which will be a convention where you can hang out with the bullshitters, shoot the shit with us. If you can't afford to get into the show, but you're in the area, you can come to the after party, which is free in the hotel, and we will hang out with you all we can do, all we can. When we're in the convention in the day, we're going to be at the table. Come over and talk to us. I'm going to try to come up with some free gifts for people. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's the first of many live appearances. And we're going to be live streaming together. Maybe I'll have Dion put on the turkey suit. Press F if you want to see Dion in the turkey suit. George Lucas doesn't need to be rehired to re-edit The Last Jedi. We have Ivan Ortega for that, guys. So make sure you check that out. I'll be posting links. Not links. I can't post links, but I'll be letting you guys know when his final edit's available, and he'll tell you guys how to see it. Why am I not going to Gen Con? Well, Gen Con, conventions aren't cheap to go to. We're already at a couple $1,000s to go to Horror Hound between table, vendor badges, stuff I got to buy, hotel. These shows aren't cheap to do. And I'm not, trying to act like a charity case, but these things cost minimum of $2,000 for just 3 days to do the show properly. I haven't really looked into Gen Con. I don't think we're big enough for a convention like that. Plus, I've worked Horror Hound. Nick has worked Horror Hound. We know the landscape. We know what we're going to get and how it works. And the thing about world-class bullshitters, yes, we're always growing. We're always doing these things. But I want it to be a very fun, relaxing environment. And I'll be honest, we're not really the most kid-friendly channel on the internet. Gen Con and stuff for families is great. I'm not here to knock people that have stuff that they do with their families. But Horror Hound is a more adult thing. There's an alcohol culture. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that fits more with world-class bullshitters. We just want to hang out and shoot the shit around a beer and talk about entertainment and anything you guys want. Gen Con is just too produced and too safe and too different than what we are. Now, yes, world-class bullshitters live in Las Vegas. That's the goal. The next goal is San Diego Comic-Con 2020. I'm going to make sure that we have the same growth, if not more, by the time we get to 2020. So we've grown almost 7 times this year alone. Let's try to grow 14 times by next Comic-Con, and then we'll definitely get a table or a booth. We'll have a little bit of celebrity to get into the show, and then everybody from all over the world can meet us. That's the next plan. Kamikaze Johnson. I love that name. Do you think we'll see a lot less of Rose in episode 9 because of fan reaction? Possibly. I know that they told us that Rose is going to be a big part of the movie in the PR spin, but there's a stink on the character that doesn't stem from racism or bigotry. It's that the character is badly written and the actress is a fine person, but she just did what was in front of her on the script, and what was in front of her on the script was shit. I'm hoping that there's less Rose Tico. If they're smart, they're going to take the moments that people hated from episode 8 and they're just going to slowly move them into the background where you don't even think about it. Like, there will be a scene in a conference room where Rose Tico will nod. You know how Rose Tico could be in part 9 and be awesome if they give her an eye patch? They don't explain what happened. She just has an eye patch and half of her head is shaved, not because she's trying to make a statement, but because she has a giant scar. We will want to know what happened to Rose Tico. It'll make her interesting. They don't need to tell us. They'll just make her more intriguing. But if they don't do it and they put her in another potato sack, a blue one this time, just because, you're going to get negative reactions from Rose Tico. So if they're smart, push her to the side and don't really worry about her too much. Grendelfan84 from Comics Elite, thank you very much. If you guys would like anything in regards to comic or local area tips, let us know. Grendelfan, shoot me a personal email, worldclassbs@mail.com, and I'll be in contact with you, and we'll talk off air. I have some questions and stuff. I've been to Indianapolis so many times, so it's not really an issue, but I would like to coordinate some stuff with you, even if it's just to have dinner together, stuff like that. So I'll be in contact with you many times. Speaking of horror, have I contacted Jules Shepard yet? I need to do that today. I'll see. I don't know if she'll be on for tomorrow already, but we can invite her. I'm not opposed to it. I would like to get more people. I'd like to get some actual celebrities on the channel and interview them. It would be a lot of fun. I could see myself having like a late night talk show type of thing with some low key celebrities, and then we move up. Obviously, the top is The Rock, but I feel like we could get all kinds of people that would just come on and have fun and talk about themselves. That's all we would ask. They don't have to promote anything. If Ryan Reynolds wants to come on and talk about his cats, we'll ask him about his cats. Breaking news, High Council of Star Wars Holiday Special live in Cecil's channel. Oh, God. When we do watch that, I do want to make sure Cecil's there with us, because I love Cecil so much. Push Rose Tico for SummerSlam. Okay. That's legit. You heard me laugh. I love that shit. Have I ever considered doing art tutorials? Here's something you don't know about me. I try to share a little bit of information about my life on each episode that keeps you hooked to listen. I actually wrote a how to draw book like 2 years ago, and I've updated the art multiple times because I have a method that's really easy to follow. Like, if you can draw a circle, I can teach you how to draw Batman or Superman and shit like that. So I do have this circle method that I've kind of, taken from other sources and kind of made into my own. I've considered doing how to draw tutorials on the channel, but I actually need to get back up into doing art myself to get, reacquainted, to warm my hand up. Yesterday, I spent some time doing t-shirt design work for the channel. And then this isn't a PR plug or anything but our shirts are going to blow you away because I have designs and shit that you don't get from any other podcast or any other YouTuber. Like, we're going to have an actual store. It's not just going to be like, hey, buy these 3 things from us to support the channel. It's like, here's a fucking world-class bullshitters line of merchandise, and they're all cool. It's not lazy. It's all shit, and it's going to hit you on a level that you don't expect yet. So I do that kind of art, but I haven't done actual illustrations. But I'm going to, because I am going to launch the Indiegogo for a comic book, our Kidnapping of Harrison Ford story. I've been working on that some more. I spoke to another writer, and he's like, that's a cool concept. So I've been getting a lot of positive reactions to the story, and I'm going to make sure that we're in the legal safe area so we don't get sued from Lucasfilm. But the end goal for this comic is to make a ton of money. I want to beat Ethan by a lot so I can actually try to find a way so we can make a movie with Harrison Ford about it. That is the next big dream of world-class bullshitters. 100,000? Well, we're about to close in on that. Next, a movie with Harrison Ford. We don't even have to be in the movie. We just want to make the movie, but we're in the comic book. Jay Chimpansky, if you want to see my work, all you have to do is look me up. I'm on Instagram, so that'll be fun. You can look at all the pictures of naked ladies I've drawn. Is Reigns still being pushed to the moon? Yeah, I was at Raw on Monday night, and it was not fun. I left because of the main event. Yeah, John, you're right 100%. Would World Class Bullshitters ever consider a live stream show with all you guys plus a guest on screen? Yes, when we go to Horror Hound, we're going to live stream. Channel Dad Brian Lape's going to help us. We're going to live stream in 1080p from our hotel room, and that'll be the first step. Because remember, I'm in Ohio, Kendo's in Missouri, Nick's in Atlanta, Dion's in Michigan. We only get together 2 or 3 times a year. And I do hang out with Dion every New Year. So Dion and I will get together for some stuff on camera in December. But we'll try to get a guest on. I can't promise that we'll get some celebrity or something like that. Maybe we'll get Grendel Fan from Comics Elite on and we'll talk about comics or something. Cross-promote. Let's see. Pie delivery service for Ethan Van Piver. Summation Creep. We should start a pie donation fund. You know what? Let me Google and see if there's an actual Pie of the Month club, just because I made that joke last week. And I think that'd be funny. Pie of the Month. Oh, God. Pie of the Month club. You know, we made that turkey thing happen. Let's see what Pie of the Month club is. Because I won't even tell Ethan. Don't anybody tell Ethan about this. If you guys keep this a secret, we should get the funds together and we should get a Pie of the Month club thing rolling for Ethan. I'll get his address from Jeremy and we'll start sending out monthly pies. So let's stop sharing the screen from Star Wars and let's look at the Pie of the Month club right here. There, look at Pie of the Month club. It's kind of pricey. Let's see, what do they say about the Pie of the Month Club? Each month, we'll deliver a variety of delicious gourmet pies shipped oven fresh from some of the country's most acclaimed bakeries and made with only the finest, all-natural ingredients. Each shipment includes 8 to 10 servings. Well, 1 for Ethan, depending on the appetite. And each month, delivery will be covered by our unbeatable "they'll love it" guarantee. Well, it's a pie, and it's Ethan, and he's going to love it. So we can create a club. So for 12 months, it's $455.40. This is hilarious. There is a Pie of the Month club. No, it shouldn't be a GoFundMe for Ethan. It should be a Go Feed Me page for Ethan and his goddamn pies. Yeah, $500 for Pie of the Month club. It ain't cheap, but it's a real thing. There's all kinds of... Oh my God, there's a bacon club? Okay, sorry guys. I gotta look at the bacon club real quick. $575 for a 12-month supply of bacon? Better see some damn good bacon. Oh, here we go. Coffee Club. $275 for a year. Not bad. 5-star ratings. Do they only... Oh, they don't have any K-Cups. I'm cheap like that. I only like my K-Cups. But yeah, man, there's all kinds of... Jams and Jelly Club, Jerky Club, Lobster Club, Movie Club. What's a movie club? Oh, it's shit like this. Well, we saw that. Idia Hugima sent in £5 super chat. Thank you very much. What does it say? The Pie of Victory. Thank you very much. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey says, this is just so wrong. Do it. Thank you very much. American Trent 007. That's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year. You damn right. All the pie Ethan could ever eat. Soy of the Month Club. Ooh. No bacon. Give me apple turnovers. I didn't eat breakfast this morning, and now I'm really hungry. It's 9:30. We got 30 minutes left of the show. When I get off air, I'm just gonna eat. I don't know if I feel like cooking, but I'm gonna eat something. Oh, Pizza Club. $700 for a Pizza Club? Holy shit, that is some pricey pizza. I'd much rather go to Chicago and eat every weekend for a year. Thoughts on Tarantino's R-rated Star Trek film? Well, Marcus, I'll give you a quick rundown if you would like a longer, more in-depth discussion. We covered that yesterday on Good Morning Pop Culture. But after the dumpster fire, in my opinion, that was Star Trek Beyond, I'm fine with an R-rated Star Trek film. A lot of purists are pissed. I understand. I'm not trying to piss on their parade. But hey, we're just going to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks in terms of that. Brandon Moist. Oh, he's back. Donation for the Moist Pie Fund for EVS. Thank you very much, Brandon Moist. I greatly appreciate that. So, Ethan, Pie hard with a vengeance. Moist of the Month Club. Aunt Andrea will confiscate his monthly pie. Well, that's why we need enough people so we can make it a daily pie. Just constantly have so many subscriptions to that. We want a pie delivered daily to Ethan Van Sciver, guys. Ah, Darth Dunkel, Durkle the Wise-Ass was gifted a cheaper version of the Bacon Club. Sausage Club, that better not be porn. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't. Foodie Direct, choose as many months as you want. $69 a month. Ooh, is that real? I might join that. Get me a... I would join a beef jerky club. I like beef jerky. A Clone Wars 2003 micro series watch party, Albedo? Yeah, if that's on YouTube, maybe I'll make that happen on Saturday night. If enough people show up, guys. That's the rule. I'm open to all kinds of ideas if enough people show up. So press F if you'd like that on Saturday night. Would you guys join us for a Clone Wars miniseries watch party? By the way, the show used to be on YouTube, so if it's still on there, we'll make it happen. If EVS is ever at a convention, I'm bringing him a pie. You better. I'll be disappointed personally if there's no pie. You could bring Jeremy like a punch to the chest or something for Gerger. Yes, the entire microseries is on YouTube. Tons of Fs. Jesus, a lot of people. Okay. If you're home. Yeah, I don't go out much anymore. I do it for the channel. But when I do go out, I have a really good time. Those are stories for Patreon because I don't think you guys want to hear those types of stories on Good Morning Pop Culture. I'm picturing a pie eating contest from Stand By Me. Yeah, buddy. I think I'm just going to deliver a pie personally to Star Wars Celebration for Ethan. We'll live stream him eating a pie. We'll do the turkey for World Class Bullshitters, and we'll do the pies for Ethan. We'll get him some really good stuff. Ooh, we got a new patron from Spawn Gono. Thank you very much if you're currently listening. I appreciate it. I need to give Jeremy a giant bin of Cheetos. If that's what he's into, I believe in giving your friends gifts, so I'll go take them some food. Oh, Andrew, what have you missed? You have missed arguably the best episode of Good Morning Pop Culture, so I can't recap everything, so you'll have to go back and check it out. And that, trust me, you won't regret it. Dio Brando says, that's why they call it bringing home the bacon. Well, thank you for your super chat. Please, no more talk about bacon. I'm really hungry. I should just go to Waffle House after this show. Go get my ass to Waffle House, get a waffle, some bacon. My mouth is literally watering right now. Haha, I'm stupid. You got some good recommendations for that. Wow, I'm into film. Gave a $20 super chat with no message. Thank you very much. I'm into film. Yesterday, the turkey suit, and now this. I appreciate all that you've done for the channel. Thank you. If you have any questions, all you got to do is just tag me in it, and I'll read it. So thank you very much. Nathan Norman says, I hope Star Wars Celebration doesn't try to kick you up because of your new views or your views on the new trilogy. Well, I'm going to be live streaming everything I do, and I'm not going to antagonize anyone. We're just going to have fun. Maybe they'll discriminate against me, but if that's the case, it'll be live being streamed because we're bringing our own mobile hotspot. And if that's the case, well, it'll be for thousands of people to watch. I hope that they don't go down that route. The Grand Inquisitor, thank you for your super chat. Just checked out your Instagram. Seems like you're inspired by 70s, 80s Playboy. LOL. Your work looks good, though. Do you take commissions? Are you talking about the Bush drawings? I used to take commissions. Down the road, I could. There's a couple things I got to do for the channel before I get back into drawing a lot more. Once I do, I'll let you guys know if you want a commission or something. It'd be fun to do a couple, 1 or 2 a month type of thing. Nothing super crazy. But yeah, Grand Inquisitor, just keep in contact with me and I'll let you know. My method was to just pick a model and draw, or that's how I would warm up, work on anatomy, hands, and stuff like that. I do like to draw. I actually was getting really into the inking as I had to, well, I didn't have to quit. As I quit, the show got better here, so I focused on that, and that's when I started getting into inking. So when I do the Harrison Ford comic book this year, I'm not going to color it. I'm going to draw it and ink it, and I'm going to hire a Marvel-level colorist, and that's how I'm going to produce the best product possible. Midnight Cherry TV says, stop talking about food in Waffle House, 3 hours to lunch. Well, I'm sorry. Midnight Cherry TV, talking about food. I'm just so hungry. If you were in the area, I'd take you to Waffle House. Treats on me. Yesterday's Good Morning Pop Culture was the best one. We got Dion a turkey costume. I loved that too. I will say, guys, if you want stupid, crazy shit like that to happen, all you got to do is suggest it, and if we can fund it on the show, I'll buy whatever. Seriously, I don't care. I don't know. When am I launching my comic? Probably towards the end of August. I want to launch the World Class Bullshitters website first. I think that's more important because a comic takes time. Unlike Ethan, I don't have the speed down that he does. For me to do a comic would take a little bit, and I don't want to tell you guys a start date and a promised delivery date and all this shit, and I can't reach it. That would reflect on me poorly. So I want to go get my Wacom tablet, work on it, do some drawing. Hell, maybe I'll draw a couple pages and then present it to you guys. And don't worry, we'll talk about it everywhere. We'll top Ethan 3 times Ethan. Like Ethan's 3 times the size of everyone else. We'll top his Indiegogo 3 times. What tier do you have to be a patron to be in the Hangouts? Ask Insanity Methods. Oh, you'll have to just go to the Patreon page and read the little blurbs on the side. I don't know off the top of my head. Now, if it's for the monthly ones that we do, any level. That's not hidden behind a big paywall. That's just $1 a month, and you just got to click the link in time. For exclusive ones, more personalized ones, the higher tiers, but we make it all about you guys. We had one guy that went 4 times the legal limit. He's the Ethan Van Sciver of patrons. He's a 4x times patron, and he's got a couple ideas that he really wants us to talk about. So that's his right as a patron. Just check it out, guys. I take you out for a New England beer at 11 a.m. That's not too early for me. I've drank beer for breakfast many times. I've got to live the college experience. Can Moist be one of the antagonists in the official World Class Bullshitters comic book? We might be able to put her in there, man. The first one is the Harrison Ford one. The second one's a surprise one, and then the third one's shipping and handling. And as long as these are successful, I will take the time to draw these. It's going to be a lot of fun. That was my dream for years, to be a comic book artist. In many ways, I could say, hey, family that always thought I had a stupid dream, look what happened. The I Don't Like Sand Club. I like that, too. Pie is a great breakfast food, honestly. I've eaten many pies for breakfast. Not like whole pies, but, a little slice here and there. I should sneak in Brandon Moist. I snuck Chevy Chase into one of the comics I was paid to draw. The writer never noticed. There's Fletch right on one of the pages. Brandon Moist is the Deadpool of the World Class Bullshitters world. Yes. Darth Durkle, the wise ass, when's the site launching? August. I will have it launched before Horror Hound. So that gives me just about a month. The shirt designs don't take too long. I have to admit, I'm quite good at designing the shirts because I have experience doing that. So the designs aren't the thing that takes the longest. It's getting the material. And I'm taking the old school approach where I'm doing everything by hand here. So you guys are going to get the highest quality because it's coming from me directly. I get to see every shirt. My mom's going to help, and she has more attention to detail than I do, and I'm OCD about that shit. So it's going to take a little while for the mugs. I want to make sure what I'm trying to do is make the mugs and then take them somewhere to get fired so you can use them in the dishwasher so you don't have to hand wash your Good Morning Pop Culture mug. I want to make you guys durable stuff that'll stand up forever so you don't go, oh, I bought this mug and a week later it's falling apart. I don't get into that shit. I've only had one shirt from all the shirts I've ever sold have a problem, and I mailed that person a new one so it wouldn't be a problem anymore. Do shirts go to 10XL for Ethan? We have circus tent shirts just for Ethan. The little tag is a picture of his face. We call that the Tico size. Meat pies are pretty good. They don't have to be sugary. Good old-fashioned English meat pie. That would hit the spot right now. Kendo would agree. Kendo loves him some British food. So, folks, we are in the final stretches of Good Morning Pop Culture. Oh, Grendelfan84. Fletch live commentary. Do it. I would love to do a Fletch live commentary. Maybe I'll throw that. Maybe I'll do like a crazy live stream on Saturday where I just do all kinds of shit and we just constantly talk about movies and stuff. One day I do want to attempt to do a 24-hour live stream. I'm going to copy Jeremy, and when we do when we hit 100,000 subscribers. Because the thing is, Ethan and Jeremy are just slightly ahead of me, and I keep gaining on them quickly. So we got to find something to blow them out of the water and hit 100,000 by Thursday of next week. That'd be amazing. All joking aside, though, we'll do a 24-hour stream when we hit that number. But Fletch could definitely be a commentary. First, I thought you said Fletch Lives commentary. I'm like, I like both Fletch movies. We could do both of those. Johnny 5, welcome to the show. We're just talking about the Star Wars Episode 9 rumors, and we're about to do the Ask Jeff Anything segment of the show. So people can ask me what they need to ask me, what they want to ask me. Make me laugh. I like to end the show that way. Rashid Abdul asks, what level am I looking for a colorist? I usually just say Marvel DC level, because I'm not going to act like I'm the world's best artist, but I'm not terrible either. Like, I spent the time, I know how to draw and make a compelling page. This will be interesting because I'll be doing my own stuff for the first time in a while and not somebody else's paid work, so I'm even more passionate, if that makes sense. I need somebody to be Marvel DC level, and we're talking like K. Michael Russell or better. But if you got a portfolio, man, you know how to contact me. I'm open to looking at people's stuff, but it's a little bit away. But it'll be a fully paid gig. It's not going to be on favors or commission or anything stupid. It's just a paid gig. I've worked in the field. I know what it's like. I refuse to screw people over for their artwork. Let's see. We got another super chat that popped up. Cinevorath 653. Favorite Godzilla movie? And maybe a live commentary for it. Let's see. My favorite Godzilla movie is either the one where I like where Godzilla fights King Kong. It's kind of dumb. I like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I do like the 2014 Godzilla movie. I know that's controversial, but I could do a commentary for Godzilla. I would need somebody that's into Godzilla. One thing about the channel is you got to have people that are interested in what we're talking about to have an interesting discussion. When I talk about shit, I care. Sometimes when you get somebody on that's just like, I'm here to get myself over and have fun, that works on the podcast. But when we're trying to present an interesting discussion on the movie, I don't think that works. Personally, I would have liked to have been a little more focused on Back to the Future last night, but the bullshitters get together and it's always a party, so I can't really berate my friends for entertaining all of you people. But I'll go with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. There hasn't been a Godzilla movie I truly hate outside of Godzilla 98. So maybe we could do some low-key Godzilla shit on the channel as a build-up to the next one. I'd love it. Godzilla, Bond, old school stuff is fun, and it seems to have an audience. So if I do it and you guys watch it, I'll continue to do it. Am I under World Class Bullshitters on Instagram? No. I am... Oh, wow. James Woods is a patron now, too. Thank you, James Woods, if you're out there. I love your movies. I believe I am just the Jeff Hicks on Instagram. So if you guys ever are curious what I look like, I'm on there. I'm never hiding. There's pictures of me all over the shit. People are like, I wonder what Jeff looks like. There you go. I mean, nothing secretive about it. But yeah, I am the Jeff Hicks on Instagram, and you can follow me and find me and all that shit. And I haven't drawn in many months, and I don't post very often, so don't expect all kinds of crazy shit from my Instagram account. But when I do post stuff, you'll be the first to know, because I always like to put my artwork there. Somebody asked me, Jeff, how do I please my woman? Be a good person and find out what she likes. Somebody said, Jeff, are you open to something? Let me read it. Are you open to having an indie sci-fi author turning his frustration with Star Wars into something original space opera? I'm doing that. Bradford Walker, just contact me on the email with your idea, and we'll see if we can work something out. I'm all about helping small-time people make it big. Doesn't hurt me. We have this platform thanks to all you. Why keep somebody else down? We could be keeping down somebody that has the next Star Wars, so why not do it? GrendelFan84, thank you very much. On Free Comic Book Day, we, Comics Elite, and I plugged that one myself, did a 24-hour live sale on Facebook. We had a comic book artist in the store all day for a sketch jam, taking requests and drawing on comic book blanks. Ooh, now that sounds cool. I'm glad I found you now, but I'm sad I didn't find you earlier, because I feel like I would spend a lot of time watching your shit on Facebook. So if you're a comic book fan, guys, check out Comics Elite. The local comic book store community needs to be saved. Diversity in Comics has his thing going, and that's fine. He can fight Jim Jeffries. But over here on World Class Bullshitters, I'm advocating to save your comic book store. There are other ways that you can go to these stores and support them without getting into the Marvel garbage that is SJW Marvel. Go pick up back issues, go pick up board games, action figures, stuff like that. And the way stuff is priced online from a lot of these specialty shops, your local comic book store is competitively priced. So before you go pay for shipping and handling and waiting for 6 or 7 days, go to your local shop and help them out. I always love to go to Rock and Rooster. Those dudes are the best in the area. I stand by them fully. But thank you, Grendel fan. I appreciate that. Ooh, I'm into films. Going to go to Toho Studios next month. Ooh, send me pictures, please. Send me pictures. Dio Brando says Godzilla versus Destroya watch party. We can make that happen. We can definitely make that happen. Now, I gotta. One thing I do have to do with these Godzilla movies is rewatch them again before I do the watch party, because you don't want me to just sit here and go, huh, this is good, or this is crazy, or this didn't dub properly. Richard asked how I felt about the new Godzilla trailer. Well, I agree with your statement about how it feels like that. I'm worried that there's going to be too much Vera Farmiga and Millie Bobby Brown because Stranger Things is popular. But I'm also worried that people are going to bitch that there's not enough of them, no matter how the ratio works out properly. Godzilla King of Monsters, I hope, is a huge hit, because I really want to see Godzilla fight King Kong with modern-day CGI. Ugh. It's funny how old things become new again, and you pine for certain things. Grendel Fan 84, Comics Elite is doing a live sale tonight. We'll be plugging World Class Bullshitters. Thanks again, Jeff. Grendel Fan, thank you for you. Let me know the time. If you personally message me, because you are my Facebook friend now, I'll get a tweet out for you. So more people can catch it. So just send me a link and what you want it to say, and we'll tweet it out just for you, man. Darren, what's the news on George Lucas? I'll give you guys a quick rundown one more time before we put this baby to bed. So let's see. We don't worry about Mike Zero shit. The rumor is that Disney and Lucasfilm brought in George Lucas to consult on the script while they pretty much turned their backs on him when The Force Awakens was first coming together. He's become this trilogy's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Imagine Kathleen Kennedy calling out to him as their only hope. George Lucas stayed pretty muted as Disney began to reboot the franchise, but he did show up on the set of Rogue One, where he made a few suggestions. He then visited Ron Howard on Solo, where he even reworked a scene. Now it's rumored that he's working alongside J.J. Abrams to make sure that they get this one perfect. It isn't known if he's on scene for the Cardigan Sheds or if he'll be just casually dropping in on the script writing sessions. Expect that official info to come out at a later date. So Darren, there you go, my friend. That is all we know about George Lucas. I will be talking about that with the Bullshitters tonight. I think this is another ploy by Lucasfilm to gain interest in Star Wars Episode 9. It's, hey guys, George Lucas is back. George Lucas is back. You can watch this movie and be proud and be, know that it's going to be good. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Tim. No, Juice Stain, wait to see Episode 9. Wait for the reviews. Wait for our reviews. Don't get into the hype. Remember The Last Jedi. Remember Solo. Remember Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, and J.J. Abrams isn't innocent. Remember, we were all intimidated by women if we don't love the new characters. That kind of bullshit has been running rampant for months in the Star Wars community. Don't let the promise of a George Lucas return or Luke Skywalker or Han Solo, or they come to your house and give you pizza, make you forget about what happened in those previous things. The hype train is destined to crash and crash badly. I agree 100%. Yeah, The Force Awakens sucked too. You can go back and listen to my reaction the minute after I saw the film. Well, not the minute, but about an hour after I saw the film here on the channel. And you can go back and listen to me hate the movie for the last 3 years of my life. I didn't hate on it because I thought it was the cool or popular thing to do to be different. It hurt me. And then Rogue One kind of instilled my faith again, and then Episode 8 came out and just ripped my fucking heart out. So from now on, guys, when I talk about Star Wars, I'm going to say, would you like to hear a story about the movie that made me rethink my existence? It's called Star Wars Episode 8, and it's a dumpster fire. Free pizza covers for a multitude of sins, Juice Stain. Yeah, but bad Star Wars isn't one of them. Good pizza doesn't fix bad Star Wars. Oh, man. So, let's see. Sign up for Patreon now. So, we're going to be pushing this Rose Tico for SummerSlam. Well, thank you, Insanity Methods. I greatly appreciate you supporting the channel the way you do. Be prepared tonight because you're going to get an extra podcast. We always go World Class Bullshitters after hours over on Patreon. And that's a lot of fun for me because it's more relaxed. It's behind the scenes. A lot of people that we talk about are patrons, so they get to know how cool World Class Bullshitters After Hours is. Maybe it'll be World Class Bullshitters After Dark if Dion doesn't show up. You catch my drift. Jeremy Peerboom, thank you for your super chat. Godzilla watch parties. I'm in if you cover all the films like you did with Bond. Jeremy, I might have to have you on for those too because you're a kind of guy that knows his shit. You knew all about wrestling and comics and action figures and stuff. So if you're as well versed in those, I should just have you on the Godzilla ones with me. If you're interested, I'm not forcing you, but if you'd like to join in for a couple or one or two, or all of them, it just depends. We can do some Godzilla stuff. It's all about the scheduling, guys. And maybe we'll go and record some early and release them. We'll do some on Patreon. We'll do some live because there's a lot of Godzilla stuff. And there's all kinds of shit that we would need to cover first. No, we have not done the EU chat yet. I'm trying to shoot for next Wednesday. What would that be? August the 1st. The 1st of August is what I'm going to shoot for. I'm going to be contacting everybody that's emailed me and try to work out a time. We're shooting for Wednesday, August 1st, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on World Class Bullshitters. Don't miss out. It's going to be the be-all, end-all of Star Wars Expanded Universe discussions, guys. Dio Brando, thank you for your super chat. Jeff, have you ever heard the guy in the original Godzilla suit got his balls burnt and kept on through the pain? I have not heard about his balls getting burnt. I've heard the stories about how he lost weight from sweating through the suit so bad, but I didn't know oh man, that's truly suffering for your art. Andrew Pitts, hey Jeff, I'm a new patron. Is there anything you would recommend I watch that I may not be caught up on? If you're talking about the stuff that we've covered, like on Patreon, like our content that I've produced, go back and listen to some of the commentaries if you have the time. I'm pretty proud of all the stuff we've put on Patreon. There's maybe only one thing that we put on because we were on vacation. I didn't have enough time to edit it properly. But other than that, I stand by the Patreon stuff. So just pick what you like. If you like Bond commentaries, those are good ways to, good thing to start with. After hours, you usually need to listen to the preceding podcast because it builds off of that kind of stuff. Cecil on our American Psycho commentary and your perspective. Sure, Trent, it's your commentary, man. That's all on you, dude. You want Cecil? I will contact Cecil. Let's get a date worked out for the month. That's crazy. I have to fill out calendars now because this channel is so busy all the time. I should get a Pizza the Hut costume. Sure. Thank you, Jay, for the compliment on my art. I appreciate that. The Godzilla actor lost 20 pounds on each movie because of the heat. Maybe we should all get Godzilla costumes. That'd be a great way. That'd be the best diet ever. Do what you have to do, but wear this suit and run around for 8 hours under studio lights. You'll lose weight. I guarantee it. Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla song. I love that song. That's one thing I do like that I have the freedom to. Over on Patreon, I can, sweeten the videos with a little bit of music or here and there. So there's a difference between that and YouTube by a lot. Godzilla versus The Rock, the movie. Ooh, my money is on Godzilla because he has sharp teeth. Well, if it's The Rock, the wrestler, he's got the millions and millions of The Rock's fans. So he's got my support. I'm number one of all of them. Yes, Brandon, I would be moist in that suit. I'd be beyond moist. Brandon, I hope you lead an interesting life because I'd like to write a book for you titled Beyond the Moist, the Brandon Moist story. And we talk about your childhood and your trials through World War II and stuff like that. I hope you're an interesting person because I built you up in my mind that way. Let's see. Sinnervath653, thank you for your super chat again. Godzilla is a big part of my childhood, and I still love it to this day. I'd love to see you do some watch parties. Okay, there is so much Godzilla love. I'm writing it down officially. I'm pulling out the notebook. Okay. Godzilla content. You know, we have thousands of Twitter followers. If everyone helped us tweet at James Rolfe, maybe I could get him on for a watch party. That's a thing I'd love to do. Brandon Moist with $2 super chat. I have lived in the Middle East, where you were moist most of the time, I bet. No, but thank you for that. And I'm interested to know a little bit about you. You follow us on Twitter. Just shoot us a DM. We don't keep ourselves closed off. Getting to know Moist. That'd be a lot of fun. See you later, John Lance. Thank you for sticking around as long as you have. Almost the entire show. If we're going to do a Godzilla watch party, we're going to treat it like 007, and we are going to start at the very beginning. So fear not, folks. It's not going to be, hey, let's do Godzilla, the new one, then this one, then that one. No, we'll just do them in order, and it'll build anticipation for the good ones. I did see that RoboCop will not be at Horror Hound, and Dion cried a little bit, but we're still going to go. I'm there for you guys, and maybe Bruce Campbell, but that's about it. Yeah, lady, you know, I'd love to get Angry Video Game Nerd on here. I can't promise anything. That's just a pipe dream, a hope. But if enough people are like, yo, 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 you know, go on World Class Bullshitters, one, I think he'll love the name because it'll make him chuckle. And two, we're normal guys. I feel like I'd have a good discussion with him. I think he'd like it. I'll buy him a beer if I ever meet him, or a case, or a pie. That's for Ethan. No one else gets pie but Ethan. Yes, Rolf as the daddies would be pretty busy. I do subscribe to his channel. We would make it work around his schedule. It wouldn't be, maybe we'd do a pre-recorded thing for the Angry Video Game Nerd just to get him on the channel. But I think you guys would like it either way. So we got a couple minutes left on Good Morning Pop Culture. I've had so much fun today, guys. I want to thank everyone who has stuck with us for all 2 hours and change. We're on the 2 hour and 5 minute marker. It's going to take a little bit to get this on our streaming because I forgot to open up Audacity and record it like I normally do. So I apologize for that. But make sure you catch it here on YouTube Live because that's the best way. It's a show about me. It's a show about all of you. It's a show for us to come together every morning, ignore the impending doom that is the workday, and have some fun. And if you love your job, awesome. If you can listen to your show, listen to the show at your job, even better. Yes, he does have the You Know It's Bullshit show. You know it's world-class bullshit. What do I think about Super Troopers 1 and 2? Never saw 2, can't accurately critique it. 1's okay. We did a commentary over on Patreon for Super Troopers. That is a Kendo Dion Nick movie. Actually, if you go to my Instagram, one of the earlier Batman, or one of the more recent pictures of Batman I drew was during the Super Troopers commentary because I was kind of bored by listening to those guys talk about it for a while. So on May 8th, we did a Super Troopers commentary, and that's what I drew, that really bad picture of Batman. Let's see. Sire J. Longstroke listened to the entire live stream. Sire J. Longstroke, when you're not drinking beer and studying for Korean, I know you're here on World Class Bullshitters. I see that picture all the time. Cesario Japan, thank you for your super chat. Star Wars Episode 9 ends with George Lucas appearing at the end of the credits and an after-credits scene and directing chair saying, "Gotcha!" Be the greatest troll job of all time. He orchestrated Disney doing all this shit. Oh my, that's Palpatine levels of shit. Like, he became the Senate. He was Palpatine. That would be incredible. I would forgive everything. Everything I've ever said. If that's how Episode 9 ends, if that's the movie, I will apologize for everything I've ever said here on the channel. Even if it's not bad. I'll just apologize. I'm sorry I drank a cup of coffee on July 14th. Sorry, guys. Ballet Dancer New Jersey says, I woke up late this morning. I missed the beginning. Well, Ballet Dancer New Jersey, just go back and catch the stream after it archives here on the channel. You won't regret it. It's been a very solid, fun morning. And tomorrow, it's going to be even better because it's Friday. And everybody loves Fridays. When you're a kid, you love Fridays. When you're an adult, you love Fridays. It's an excuse to drink. It's an excuse to stay up late, eat pizza, do terrible things to your body, and listen to world-class bullshitters. While we still have a large audience of 500 people, guys, tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing a live watch party of Return of the Living Dead. You don't want to miss out on that one. And we'll have a little stopwatch up so you guys can know exactly where we are in terms of the timestamp. And then if enough people have stuck around, we're going to go and do a Night of the Living Dead watch party where we can actually show you the film because it's in the public domain. And then Saturday, it's looking like I might have to do the Clone Wars cartoon watch party. It's on YouTube, so hopefully it doesn't get taken down within the next day or so. but we're going to watch the Clone Wars and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we can talk about the Clone Wars at great lengths. I caught all those shows back in the day on on Cartoon Network proper. I remember coming home from high school watching some of these, and I was hooked. They used to show them in blocks. Great. I love the design. Jenny Tartakovsky, Samurai Jack, all those types of shows were awesome. Those were part of my childhood. And to see Star Wars in a good animated form, not droids, not Ewoks, none of that shit, but good Star Wars cartooning, I approve. John Hoy, thank you very much for your super chat. Friday means a 5-mile run before work for me. Damn it. Trent, don't do it, man. Actually, no. I'm all about getting in better shape, living longer. Running's not for me. I lift. Yesterday, Trent, I broke some lifting records, so that made me feel good. Abomino, you liked the stopwatch? Awesome. I think one of the listeners suggested it. Some people, it threw them off. They didn't know what was going on, but that is the best way to keep people up to date. We only had one person ask about why there was a stopwatch on screen. It was just the timestamp. That would be the payback of paybacks of all time. Snook is George Lucas. I love Saturday morning cartoons. Such a shame they are gone, but times change. I think they intended to they engineered that. There's not a reason that cartoons still couldn't be a thing. Now I know my neighbors, the neighbors have their TV pointing to the window. So when I walk by up the stairs, I can see them. Those kids watch cartoons all day, every day. I don't think Nickelodeon ever leaves their TV. Like, I'll be coming up and down doing stuff, and boom, there's Nickelodeon. So I guess it's just a different way to consume stuff. But I did like the network cartoons better than the stuff that was on cable. I was fortunate enough at a certain age to have cable and network stuff. We had satellite, actually. So I could watch all of it. But the stuff on Saturdays, like Batman, Superman, and X-Men and all those shows, were definitely awesome. What do you squat at 355 right now? I actually don't squat too much because for a while I was doing a 5x5 set and I was almost up to 400 pounds at the squat. But for me, the squat rack is too severe on my neck. It just causes me more pain than it's worth. So I do goblet squats. I researched a squat that would replicate it. So I goblet squat. I don't really know off the top of my head. Not too terribly much because you're holding, you know what a goblet squat is, you're holding a weight. So not too much. But my bench is like 250 something, but I don't just do one set and call that a bench. I'll do, 3 sets of 8 reps minimum. Then I jump to an incline bench with, sometimes I'll do power sets. It just depends. I got a couple books on weightlifting. That's my new goal, my personal goal. Rashid says, yo, as a new patron, could you get me on as a guest? I want to talk about art and drawing. I draw as well. I want to share my history of painting and sketches and comics. Rashid, yeah, you just contact me over there on Patreon. We got a couple, actually have quite a few people that have requested stuff, so I would just have to, get to them first because they requested first. But if you request before other people, it doesn't matter who's been on the Patreon the longest. It just depends on who requests which date first. So Rashid, I'd love to have you on and talk about that art. And if you wanted to have just a personal one-on-one thing, we can make that happen even sooner. It's all dependent on you. If you want to just do it live, that's different. But if you're just trying to do something with me, we can make that happen even sooner. Yeah, Fox Kids was awesome. Am I ever going to do the Chris Stuckman shill video? I haven't watched Chris Stuckman in so long. Never say never, but he just has disappeared from existence to me. It's like I snapped my fingers and poof, he's gone from my mind. I don't dislike any of these people personally, and I don't really want to pick on Chris Stuckman. But if he's been shilling some shit, maybe. I don't know. The shills have kind of kept quiet. I think we had our victory over the shill media. A small victory, but still a victory nonetheless. So I don't think Chris Stuckman shilled too hard for anything as of late. We'll see. We'll see how episode 9 goes and how people react. I don't think they will risk their longevity by shilling too hard because we've opened everyone's eyes to that. Let's see. Congress killed Saturday morning cartoons with legislation against sugary cereals marketed towards children, says Nerve Clacks. Yeah, and they also got rid of something else too, like in 2012, the CW or whatever Infinity, whatever the channel was, had the last cartoon airing. It was sad. So, folks, we have reached the 10 o'clock hour, which means it's time for me to go. So I apologize in advance if that you're just new to the stream and you're going to miss out. But give it a few minutes and it'll go archived here on YouTube, and you can go back, listen to it, and have a lot of fun. This has been one of my personal favorite episodes of Good Morning Pop Culture. We had a lot to talk about. You guys were really involved. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to everyone who sent in Super Chat questions. We made a turkey suit happen yesterday. We're making all kinds of crazy shit happen today. So thank you to everyone. I will have a great day. You actually don't have to wait till tomorrow to see me, guys. I'll be back tonight in less than 12 hours, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with World-Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture, where we'll be discussing everything. We'll bring up this George Lucas news again. We'll talk about Comic-Con just as a brief recap. We got a couple games we're playing, so you can listen to us play the games. You can get involved and play the games with us. We always got something new to do each week on the podcast to keep it fresh, to keep it exciting, to keep it engaging, and to keep it world-class. So if you need to contact me, you know what to do. You can contact me over on Facebook, email, Twitter. You'll get Nick, but he can get to me. And in the meantime, keep it classy, folks. And thank you.